Jaylo.
Yes.
How you doing, babes?
I'm good. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yes, it's supposed to be a nice, cool day. A lot cooler than it has been in the last couple weeks. And I'm glad it's starting to cool off a little bit.
I am too.
We need that break.
I didn't like the 116 degree day we had.
No, I mean, I stayed relatively cool in my apartment here. And it sounds like you did too, right?
Yeah, but they say with global warming, we're going to see that a lot more here in Portland.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes.
I'm not going to ask the question that just came to my mind.
No, don't.
Okay.
It's time for you to exercise temperance.
What's that mean? Temperance is
self-control.
Oh.
That's another word for self-control.
I don't know if it's time for me to do that.
I think it is.
Oh, when you come to me, Bob, you should park your car all the time, okay?
Are you making fun of me?
No. Do you like my impression of you?
It's not even accurate.
Oh.
You don't even sound like me. No way.
Oh.
You're not even close, Bubs.
Really?
No. You just sound like a male speaking in baby talk.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's hard to do an impression of you then.
No. I hear that my voice is, to some people it's very distinct, so they can't really imitate me, but they can imitate what I say.
Nice.
If that makes any sense.
I hear you.
Yes. I mean, I can imitate you when you get upset.
Go ahead.
All right.
That's pretty accurate.
Okay, babes, all right. I always know it, or sometimes when you're frustrated, you're like, this is what happened today. I'm like, oh.
This person upset me.
And you're like,
Why do I have to deal with this bullshit again?
All I have to say though, when I have gotten upset, you are in some ways you are spot on.
Thank
and
you.
Sometimes when I get upset with people, I just don't talk to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even have to say anything. I just don't talk to them for a while. Yeah.
That's a good way to handle it. I like to fall back on that too sometimes. It's
good because it's like it gives you time to kind of, process it for the day, and then, revisit that the next day if you're ready to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or sometimes if you're not ready to talk to somebody, give it a month or so, maybe a couple weeks to a month or whatever.
See if you can cool down.
Yeah. Right. So, yeah.
I give good advice though.
Yes. It's always good to be slow to anger.
It is, but some people make it so difficult.
Yeah, it doesn't help if somebody is, if the one who has wronged you so many times, or they've wronged you really badly and it's the first time and there was no warning. Yeah. Sometimes,
though, you just have to cut people out of your life.
Uh-huh. But there's no salving.
No.
There's no salvaging the relationship. It's unfortunate.
Let them go, and you can do it with
Wish
peace
them well.
too. Yeah, it's like, I think Ram Dass said something like, they're out of my head, but not out of my heart.
Oh.
I hope I got that. I know you cringe whenever I bring up Buddhist teachers.
And Ram Dass is dead. So.
I know, but we all die, babes.
Well, I know we do.
Yes.
But, yeah. Wait.
Yes. I do think that that's the best way to do it, is let people go sometimes.
And sometimes it's sad. It really is. It's like, or they let you go before you let them go.
Oh my God. The worst though, and this happens to me a lot,
is
somebody will tell me they no longer want me in their life.
Mm-hmm.
And then 2 months later, I'll hear from them saying, hey, why haven't you reached out to me recently?
Yeah.
Oh, I was just mad that day. And it's no.
That sounds like very much a mixed message to you, because well, okay, so you didn't like me this one day and you told me that you wanted me to leave you alone forever. Yeah. And then you contact me and it's like, what am I supposed to think? You're coming back for more? You want more of me, so because you don't know what to do with yourself? I don't know.
I think that, I don't know, maybe it's something I have to process in this lifetime, because let me tell you something that happened with me. I don't know if I've ever talked to anybody about this.
It's possible you didn't.
So I know I haven't mentioned it here.
Okay.
When I was 11, as you know, my dad was a drug addict, still is.
Not stable.
Very unstable still.
Yeah.
But at the time, he was still in that world, and,
Yeah.
It's not like he entered it, when I was 19. He's always been a drug addict.
Yeah. Very unstable since you were little.
Yeah, well, even before I was
Even
born.
before then, yeah.
Yes.
Right.
In any event, I was living with my mom, and my dad called her crying and told her to call my school because he wanted to pick me up after school.
Why?
Well, we're going to get to that.
Okay.
Babes. So I'm like, I got to deal with this shit again. I go home, I wait. I believe it was a Friday. He comes over, and I lived on 54th and Roan in Southeast Portland.
Are you not supposed to give out locations?
I'm not giving out the exact location.
Okay.
It's the street.
Okay.
A couple blocks away, there was a Subway. I don't know if it's still there because I haven't been in that area in a while. And we go there, we order our food, and we start eating, and my dad just starts fake crying. He's like, I just want to finish this meal and then never talk to you again. And then, of course, he called like a month or two later.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I think it's something that I really hate guessing games.
I don't like that either.
But if there is a God, I think that there's a reason he put so many people in my life who like playing guessing games.
Maybe... Oh, I think there is one, but I think maybe they're in your life to show you how to deal with those people, because I don't like guessing games either. I don't like games, period. It's like, okay, if you want me in your life, let me know, but if you don't, just leave me alone and don't ever contact me again, or don't even try to establish any kind of relationship. If it's over, it's over, and leave it at that.
Before you, years and years and years ago,
when you were 23?
Something like that.
Just kidding.
No.
I'm just kidding. I'm thinking about I'm my own grandpa.
Okay.
Okay, go on.
I was dating very attractive woman, super dramatic, but great in bed.
Oh, did you have to go there?
Well, I'm laying out why I say
Did you have to say that? You could have just said she's attractive and that's it.
But not as
but
good
crazy.
Not as good as my Jaylo.
Any
events. She calls me up one day and says, I never want to talk to you ever again. So, really? And she's like, yeah, never again.
This is when she broke up with you, right?
This is when we stopped talking.
Okay.
So, I hang up the phone and I'm like, oh, that was weird. Okay. And then I just go back to doing my thing. Like 6 months later, I'm literally like about to move in like a week or two. I get a phone call from her saying, well, why haven't you called me? Well, you should call me sometime. I'm like, okay. And then I just hang up the phone and never called her again.
Well, good.
Yes.
I don't know, but what is going on in these people's heads? Like, I seriously wonder if there is, it could be that there's like some kind of maybe there's a mental illness going on.
That's very possible.
Because the people that are like really mentally unstable, there has to be something going on. Because if they're like, oh, I don't ever want to talk to you again, and they're in those moods, and they're like, oh, I haven't heard from you in a while. How are you?
Yeah.
It's like, why are you calling me when you said you don't want to talk to me ever again?
That's why when I stop talking to somebody, I like to completely cut them out. Burn all bridges.
I totally get it. It's like, okay, it's time for me to go, and you'll never hear from me again. Period.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. Yeah, I mean, I am true to my word when it comes to not talking to people.
There have been times, babes, where I've been that arrogant guy, and somebody says, oh, I'm going to cut you out of my life. And I said, you're sure? Because once you do this, there's no going back. We're not going to spend the holidays together. When you cut me out, you cut me out. Just so you know. And they say yes. And then like a year later, it'll be like, well, what's going on with you, Rick? How's it going?
It's like, well, why didn't you... Isn't that annoying?
That is.
Or they'll say things like, oh, I'm going to, like, they'll give you ideas like, oh, we should do this or we should do that. And you never hear from them again. Or you have to be the one reaching out to them, and then they'll say, and it's not like, and it's a guessing game with them. That happened to, I'll just say this.
Go ahead.
That happened to my sister many times with another person who will not be mentioned, and her name will not be mentioned because it's not important. But she went through this thing where she was having, she had to deal with guessing games with her. Because even though she was in town, she wanted to spend time with her. And at one time, they were really good friends. But it was always on her terms. Like, even the day before she was supposed to spend time with her, she called and confirmed it. And then the day of whatever they were doing, she would call and say, I can't do it. And she would always get upset, and she would tell me, she's like, I can't believe she did this to me again. And I'm like, why do you even have her as a friend anymore? Just don't even answer your phone. Don't, take her off of your Facebook or whatever. Just don't even look at her stuff anymore. You just completely cut her out and don't even acknowledge her anymore. Yeah. It's just giving you more stress.
Exactly.
And I notice that my family members will do that. They'll keep people around, and I'm just like, why can't you just get rid of these people? They're just so toxic.
I think the other thing, which is a conflict in me, is because I went to so many schools as a little kid.
Yeah.
And I know I've said this here before, but sometimes we'd move in the middle of the night, and this is before Facebook.
Terrible.
And my parents didn't want me keeping in contact with any old friends we had, so we'd have to start back from the beginning each time we moved.
That is so horrible.
That it's kind of really confusing to me.
Yeah.
And that's why it's taken me until my late 30s to figure some of this stuff out.
I totally understand.
Mm-hmm.
I totally understand. And I suppose if you lived in an area for longer than 2 months, right? If you lived in the same place for a while and it was more stable, you would probably, it wouldn't be as confusing.
Yeah.
But I mean, I just don't. I mean, but some people, I honestly think some people like the drama of it. If that makes any sense.
Absolutely, a lot of people do.
And I'm just like, I mean, I notice that family members are just, some of my family members who won't be named are like that. It's like, oh, they like the drama, yet they don't like the game that they're playing. But if it wasn't for that game, they wouldn't have the drama, if that makes any sense. I don't know.
I completely understand what you're saying, but let me see if I could phrase it a different way so you know that I'm not just saying I get it.
Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
They like the feeling of the drama for whatever reason, but the drama comes with these little guessing games.
Uh-huh.
And they're not really a fan of that, but if they stop playing the guessing games with people in their lives, they won't get the benefit of the drama and bragging about how they were correct in the situation.
I mean, I feel like that's the case. I could be completely wrong, but I've noticed when people have complained to me about that, and I'm just like, because I don't like guessing games and I don't like drama. It's like, you either be honest with me or don't be honest with me at all, and just, either be honest with me or not.
Yep.
It's like, it's all or nothing when it comes to those kinds of things. It's like, don't tell me you don't want to talk to me again and then contact me. And it's one thing if a person really wants to reconcile and actually work on it. It's another thing if they just want to see how you're doing even without them. And, but I feel like sometimes it seems like the case, from someone who's observing it, but I could be wrong about it.
One of the few great things about COVID is it's really made me examine my relationships with some of the people in my life. And a couple of them who I've completely decided just to cut out. And it's not one of those things where they cut me out and I hear this whole long explanation.
Yeah.
And then we have to play this guessing game where they reach back out to me. I just don't say anything to them.
I only know of one of them.
There's a couple, but we won't go into them here.
Okay.
And I just won't say anything. I'll just, block their number,
right?
Unfriend them on Facebook, and I leave the email open. So if they want to, reach out to me and say, "Hey, what's been going on?" then I'll tell them that I cut you out of my life,
exactly.
and this is why.
Exactly.
But I'm not emailing them and saying, "Hey, you're no longer part of my life." That's just weird to me.
Yes.
But yeah, I've cut a lot of people out, and I feel really good about it, actually.
That's good because you don't need all that drama and you don't need those guessing games.
No.
And I mean, you know enough to know how to keep a relationship alive and well, and you don't need extra stress in your life. And I know I don't need extra stress in my life.
Yeah, and you know that because not just the relationship we have, but I do virtual dinners with a group of friends who are friends in real life, not just virtually, but they're virtual friends right now because of the way the world is. And I do it pretty much every week.
Yeah.
And I also do other virtual get-togethers with real life friends.
Exactly.
That I've been doing consistently since the start of the pandemic.
Right.
So we find ways to connect even if we can't be in the same spot.
Yeah, like, and I'll email people once in a while, even if it's not every day, just to see how they're doing. So I've been able to do that. I mean, I should do it more consistently, even, I know I have other things on my mind, but I honestly should do it more consistently. But I like that, there are so many ways now of communicating with people, and it doesn't have to be only over the phone or only in person. And I like that.
I often wonder what our society would have looked like if the pandemic would have hit in 1990 instead of 2020.
That would have been, I don't know, that might have been worse. What do you think?
I think there's a very strong possibility of that.
It might have been worse because number one, we wouldn't have any other ways to get our food, right? If we weren't able to go to the grocery stores.
Yeah, it'd be like all Domino's pizza.
Or we would have to, have somebody get it for us at the store or whatever it is. We would be able to call people on the phone, but if you didn't have long distance, you would have to pay extra for that.
And how would schools work? Right,
exactly. And that would be horrible because you would have been 10. I would have been 10. You would have been about 7 or 8. That would have been hard.
Yes.
That would have been very hard. And I think it's still hard for kids. And I feel the most sympathy for those kids.
I do too.
They're dealing with all this stuff. Not just the adults, but the kids are dealing with all this stuff. And all they want to do is play with their friends. All they want to do is interact with their friends. All they want to do is interact with teachers. And they're being held back from this. And I don't like it this is happening to my nieces and nephew and other kids that are still school-age kids.
I hated interacting with teachers, but I get what you're saying, though.
Interacting with them as far as being in class.
Oh, I hated that as a kid.
I understand. I wasn't talking about...
Okay. I've noticed this with liberals. I'm not a hater because I am a liberal. But oftentimes people will say stuff about, the world is doomed, but the one thing that I'm excited about is the generation coming up. Man, they've really got it together, right? And I hate when I hear liberals say stuff like that. One of the reasons being is, from what I've heard, Bill and Hillary Clinton used to be hippies. And we saw how well that worked out.
Oh, it didn't. It worked disastrously.
I've heard rumors that at some point in his life, Barack Obama was a progressive and actually cared about the people. And we saw how well that worked out when he became president. So this idea that, the younger generation, they've really got it figured out.
This is why when I was talking the other day about corrupt leadership, right? It's not that our society is taking part in this corruptness, is that the leadership is corrupt. And they've been corrupt, and they're trying to corrupt everybody else.
Well, then a question becomes, could a young progressive version of Barack Obama become president and do a good job as a leader, or do we only get the neoconservative version of him?
See, I don't think... I don't think young progressives would help. And
let's phrase it another way then. So let me put it in a purview you could understand, or you could accept then.
Okay.
I know you're a Trump fan, but besides for that, I don't want to put words in your mouth. So correct me if I'm wrong. my perception is you don't think that there have been a lot of good conservative presidents in our lifetime.
No good Republican presidents.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I can't say much about Reagan just because I was very young when he was in office, and I don't know. But
sorry, go ahead.
Enough.
Go ahead.
I don't want your opinion.
Go ahead.
Okay. I can't really say much about Reagan because I was still very young when he was in office, and I don't know what I've been hearing about the Bushes as far as how they've I don't know. I don't know. I don't really. The more I hear about the Bushes, the more I don't like them. But I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't really have a lot to say about that. But I think that the Republican establishment, I think, is slowly, or actually not slowly, but quickly falling apart.
I hope so.
And there are a lot of Republicans that are looking outside of the box and really coming down hard on those Republicans that are not doing what they're supposed to do. But anyway, what was your question?
Okay, so Mike, I don't know the Republican equivalent to hippies because I'm in some ways, even though I'm kind of young, I'm kind of like an old lib in a lot of ways, right? Because I grew up around hippies, and so that's sort of the mentality. But I imagine there's a Republican equivalent of that, to where they're young, they're activists, and they're conservative. And so my question to you is, do you think that a young Republican conservative who is like with it as far as like what you consider their values to be could ever rise up to become president and keep their values intact? Or do you think that the system slowly changes them?
You think that the system could change them?
I'm wondering. I'm wondering.
So there are a lot of people that I've been hearing that have been speaking out against the establishment in general. Mm-hmm. Okay. Whether or not they can keep their values intact, that's remains to be seen. I think that there are very strong conservatives that are pushing back very, very hard in other states. Some of them are Congress women and men. Some of them are senators, and they're not liking what the establishment has done to the people and are still doing to the people. And it's possible that they could keep their values intact, but they are going to suffer a lot for it.
Then we have to have a discussion about language. So I get a lot of shit from my liberal friends because I always trash on Obama. Mm-hmm. Because I think that Obama knew better. Like, he said the right things and then he did the exact opposite in private. And so I'm wondering, we're not going to go with Obama because we dislike him for different reasons. But do you think that somebody who is a conservative, mm-hmm. who has the best intentions, mm-hmm. that align with yours, could go into the system and not just say the right things, but actually do the right things when it's time to advocate for legislation?
I think it's possible. Now, it's becoming a little bit, what's the word? There are some that I would say you really have to watch out for, because some of them will say, well, I'm not for this, but I'm for this. Mm-hmm. Let me give you an example for a moment.
Go ahead.
And I'm very disappointed with this one. Okay. Kristi Noem. Kristi Noem is a prominent conservative governor in South Dakota. Okay. Now, I agree with her down the line, except there was a bill. I think there was a bill that was against. Was it against? It was against transgendered. It was the whole thing about transgendered people in sports, about transgendered boys competing against girls in sports, or something like that. And I think she vetoed it. She either vetoed it or something was wrong. And I'm like, okay, you said you didn't want that, but why did you go against it? If you said you didn't want that to happen, why did you go against it? And those are one of those. It's one of those times where it's like, why did you say one thing and then completely apologize and go back on it? And that's something I've been noticing a lot from certain people, and I don't like it.
Yeah. So, and you already know my position. With most things, I'm completely for transgender rights and whatever somebody wants to be. I don't fully understand it, but I don't have to understand everything. I understand that I want people to feel as free as possible. But when it comes to sports, it gets a little bit more tricky because of body structure.
I don't like sports and the locker rooms. I don't think that if a transgendered boy who wants to be a girl should be in the girls' locker room. I think it's very dangerous. The girls are in danger. I don't like the whole shower thing, and I certainly don't like transgendered boys competing against girls in sports activities.
The locker room thing to me is a lot less concerning than the actual competition. But again, I'm not a doctor. I don't understand everything. And for most things, I'm in complete favor of transgender rights. But it brings up another interesting question. How much do you have to agree with somebody to be in support of them? So you said Kristi Noem on every other issue. It seems like you agree with her.
It seems like it, but it's like just an issue that I would have thought that she would be for. I'm not for, against, right? When it comes to sports, transgenders in sports, rather. It just seemed like it's more about what people say 1 minute and then do the exact opposite the next minute, the hypocrisy of it.
Well, let me ask you a question. Let me rephrase this then.
All right.
Let's say Donald Trump comes out and he says, I'm not running for president in 2024 for whatever reason. Mm-hmm. And Kristi Noem runs for president. You disagreed with how she handled one issue. Would that stop you from wanting her to become the Republican nominee?
I really don't know. I really can't say, because if she's going to back off on an issue that is very something that people really should take to heart about this, then I don't know what other issues she's going to back off on. Because if we're going to have a strong leader, and if I'm going to vote for someone that align with the values that I believe in, I can't vote for someone who is going to back off on something that's very important to me, because I don't know what she's going to do. I don't know if she's going to be strong on everything.
Yeah, like, I'm not really a Joe Biden fan.
I'm so thankful.
But I was able to vote for him. Now, would I vote for him again? Up until last week, I'd say absolutely not. Now, where I disagree with not only you, but most people, is the way he handled Afghanistan. I actually thought he did a fairly well job, and I'm very much anti-war.
Well, here's the thing, though. Okay, go on. I'm sorry.
So, if the election was held today, and you're asking me now, would I vote for Joe Biden? I'd say I'd really have to think about it. Instead of a firm no, it would be 70 to 80% no. But I'd have to stop and consider some stuff.
Well, consider this, though. If Gold Star families are coming out and saying that he needs to resign because of this horrible, horrible tragedy, there's something to be said about that, because there are families that have actually sent their boys to Afghanistan, and now that this whole thing has happened, there are still some American soldiers are still there, and they're trying to get them out. And they're trying to get them out in time for before the Taliban can create any more damage, because I'm sure that they probably killed more Afghanis and Americans in the last couple of weeks.
I hear what you're saying. Gold Star so there are some Gold Star families who are against Trump. And so that doesn't sway me. What I will say is I don't like the idea of occupying other countries. I'm against it. I was against it when Bush went in there. I was against it when Obama stayed in there. I was against it when Trump stayed in there. And up until last week, I was against it that Joe Biden was saying.
No, but
a couple weeks ago.
But look at but you have to count the cost. So, and we can drop this because I don't want to get too political.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is you have to count the cost. At what cost is somebody willing to get our troops out of Afghanistan, even if it means putting other people in danger? Because now the Taliban has taken over Afghanistan. The Afghani president has fled. That can't be good for Afghanistan. And this has happened just when Afghani women were getting more women in Afghanistan were getting more women's rights, and now this has completely changed everything for them.
But the question I would ask for you is, how long were we going to stay in there? I mean, the fact that we were there 20 years or close to it.
But the point is that Joe Biden has now proven that he is incompetent, and I would imagine that this is something that his handlers wanted him to do.
I don't think so. Not the way the press is going out. I do not. I think he actually went against his handlers on this one. Because if he went with what everybody was telling him to do, then CNN, MSNBC would be talking about how great it is that we're exiting a war. And from the clips I've seen, everybody seems to be against him on this.
Well, whether or not he was the one who came up with the idea or his handlers did, he has proven that he is more incompetent than the day that he occupied the White House.
But here's the thing, babes.
Can we stop this now?
We will stop it soon, but I do want to make a couple more points. When were we going to get out? I mean, how long does it take? We're there for almost 20 years. At some point, we either got to say, well, this is going to be a permanent occupation, or we have to have an exit strategy.
No, I'm sorry. This was done on purpose. This wasn't thought out, and I think that this is now. There's going to be a lot of blood on his hands.
Well, I would say this. Did you know? Are you a fan of heroin?
Of course not. I've never touched it.
Do you know that a lot of our soldiers were in charge of guarding poppy seeds for heroin distribution over there in Afghanistan?
Poppy seeds?
Yeah.
What does poppy seeds have to do with it?
Because you can make heroin from poppy seeds, from what I understand.
Oh.
And so a lot of our soldiers were in charge of keeping heroin dealers, keeping their supply safe. Did you like that?
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, that's something you should research. That's been out there since the Bush administration.
I don't know, but they blame Bush for everything. So,
do you know that a lot of our allies there were child sex slaves?
Really?
Yes. This is also very well known.
From leftist media, right?
Uh-huh. Yes, from leftist media.
Leftist media. Okay, that's enough now. No, Bubs.
What? No, but would you? I would highly encourage you to do some. I would highly encourage you, babes, to do some research into heroin in Afghanistan and our part in that. And I would highly encourage you to look into pornography. To look into the child sex slave thing that we kind of supported by having allies there.
Did you get that from Democracy Now?
A lot of it I did get from Democracy Now.
Oh, yeah. I remember that boy. Depressing woman.
But you could check into that stuff. So there's more to this than meets the eye. And you know that the president who fled left with $150 million.
I just don't think that it was a good idea for him to leave, because now look what's going on with the what.
But he's a very rich man. It's not like he went with just the clothes on his back. All
the more reason why he needs to come back.
Why would I come back to a situation like that where now I'm rich?
No. Listen.
Yeah.
He fled while all of the Afghani citizens were in danger because of the Taliban terrorists. I'm just saying, Bubs, think about that. There we go.
You just touched my nipple.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that.
Oh, what the...
Okay. Tickle
truce. Okay.
Okay, I saw we.
All right, we can agree that I'm correct about.
No.
Okay.
You are not.
All right. I don't know how we got down that rabbit hole.
You were the one who brought it up.
But okay. Oh yeah. So I remember. So I'm not a one issue person. I try to look when I'm voting for somebody. Do I agree with most of what they say? And for real, there's a really good chance I'm just going to skip out on the 2024 elections and not vote at all.
You could vote for Santa Claus.
No, I think honestly, it's more likely that I won't vote in 2024 than that I will vote.
Okay.
Because I don't like anybody. They all just seem like crooks to me on both sides.
I know. I don't know.
Yes, I don't like Kamala Harris. I'm not a Trump fan. I don't like Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't like Joe Biden.
Oh.
I do think, though, that if, for whatever reason, Trump doesn't run, Marjorie Taylor Greene is going to run. And if he does get into the presidential race, he's probably going to have her as his vice presidential candidate. But that remains to be seen, babes.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to wait on that one.
That's right, babes.
All I'm thinking about now, besides this whole thing, is that we've got to figure out, but this whole like idea about us being shut in again. This has to go away. I mean, I don't know that it will completely.
I agree with you.
But this is just ridiculous. I mean, this is, keeping people from getting any kind of livelihood. And if anybody has a livelihood, they don't know how long they're going to have their livelihood. And anyway, I just want to get through this year. Yeah,
like Portland isn't completely shut down yet, but for real, it's looking like it's going to go that way again.
I really hope not. This is just insane. This is insane. Mm-hmm. This is just completely insane.
Yes.
And it was just not. This has just gotten out of hand. But anyway, I think we should talk about something else now.
Babes, I love you. We did a reading hour yesterday.
We did.
Tell me about your experience.
It is getting very, very exciting.
And you are reading?
I'm still reading the 6th book in the Left Behind series called Assassins.
It's a book for conservative Christians.
Bubs?
Go ahead. I'm just pointing that out. Just pointing that out, babes.
It's for believers and non-believers alike. It's not just for believers. Maybe you should benefit from reading something like that.
So I could get a good laugh?
No.
No. Go ahead.
No, it does make you think.
Nice.
I think it does. Anyway, so it's getting very, very good. There's been, in the book, there has been characters that had to have disguises because they were fleeing the control of a global community, which is the one world government that Nikolai Carpathia has established. And his right-hand man, who is Leon Fortunato, is in league with him, of course, because that's his right-hand man, his yes man,
his homeboy.
Right.
He's one of the homies.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry, go ahead.
So it's getting very exciting. It's getting very, very exciting. There are people that are close to either dying or that have died already. And there will be more dying, most likely in this book. And there are people that are recovering from almost dying. So it's getting, excuse me, it's getting very exciting. And you just finished a book, right?
I finished Sisters in Hate. It was really, really good. Somebody's outside your window. Yeah. I enjoyed the book. I highly recommend it. I talked about it a lot yesterday. Uh-huh. So all I would say is, or the previous episode, is it's a really, really not fun book, but it makes you think a lot about extremists and white supremacists from the aspect of females. And my thing about white privilege is we disagree on this. I think it's a real thing, even though I think it's a little bit overhyped. But I find it so interesting that well-to-do white women are the only people who are excluded from white privilege. In my opinion, that's what it feels like.
Okay.
Right. And I'm sure there's people out there who are super rich white women who think I'm completely wrong on that. But the book goes into women who are racist and how that comes out.
I will say that,
and profiles 3 of them,
which is really disturbing. I will say that young white women, and especially young white women in universities and colleges, I think that right now there's an increase in them putting on rallies for the Black Lives Matter people and for Antifa people, because they're the ones that are leading the charge. And it's very disturbing to see that. And so it's not just rich, older white women that are kind of maybe touting the white privilege thing, but young white women as well. But I'm not saying that every white woman is like this. Yeah,
and it's also, but it's usually the young white women. It's the ones with money who can get away with like calling people out on white privilege.
The young white women too that are feminists, right? Not only are they calling out people for white privilege, but they're also saying that white men are the scum of the earth.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, well, bro, your dad is the reason you can afford to do this shit. You know what I mean?
I would imagine too that they're probably recruiting young Asian women too, and young Hispanic and Black women.
I don't know, maybe.
I don't know, but it's really disturbing. It's really disturbing.
But this wasn't about that. This was about rich, or I shouldn't say rich, but this is about white women who hate people, who hate minorities, but try to cloak it in the language of we love our families and we want things to be like they were back in the day.
What I wonder though, because I think I may have said it in the last episode, but how lonely is it for them, even if they're surrounded by a community of racist people, right? Yeah. How lonely it is for them when they decide, I really don't like this anymore. This is really toxic for me and my family, and I don't agree with what they believe anymore because it's so wrong. How lonely are they when they finally leave?
Well, then, this is an interesting question.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure I know what the right answer is. But the idea of forgiveness, we oftentimes think of it as somebody who did me wrong and I rose above my own hate and forgave them. Right. But we don't usually think about it in terms of this person was a racist and hated people just because of their nationality.
Right.
And now they're trying to atone for that.
Yes.
And leave this movement. How do we go about forgiving somebody like that? And I'm not saying that we should, and I'm not saying that we shouldn't, but I'm saying it's an interesting discussion to have.
It is, because if it was, atrocities that were committed against them.
Yeah.
Let me give you an example, and this is not having to do with necessarily race, but religion, right? So the Apostle Paul, and I'm using his as an example because it's kind of it kind of is sort of like this in some ways.
Okay.
Paul thought that he was doing God's work because he persecuted the Christian church. He persecuted the Gentiles, all in the name of his Jewish faith.
I like this guy already.
No,
I'm joking. That's a joke.
Oh my goodness, Bob.
Go ahead.
Stop it. Well, his name used to be Saul. And he thought he was doing what a Jewish zealot should do because he thought that he was doing right. And in fact, he had people arrested and killed. That wasn't right.
Because they were Christians.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And so I'm kind of connecting it to people that really had hatred for Black people or for any Asians, Hispanics, whatever, and they they were radicalized. Whether it's on the internet or whether it's because of meetings or what have you.
Yeah.
But it's, how can a person, I think it's absolutely possible that we can forgive a person like that who has completely changed their mind, has completely removed themselves from the movement entirely, and cut off all those ties with people that they were friends with that were doing damage to other cultures. I think it's very possible. My question is too, right? If a person were to live as a white supremacist in society, because obviously most people don't think that way, right?
I hope not.
No, I don't think so. Most people, especially in big cities, usually don't think that way. So how would they be able to live in a society that is mostly against racism when they're, like when the story when you said about that woman that went to the gym and she was wearing all these racist t-shirts.
Yeah.
Right? How would they be able to form relationships? Because obviously they wouldn't be able to have a lot of relationships. How would they be able to live in society and work in society or raise their family in society?
I would imagine, and I don't know, but my assumption is that they would probably have to work for these racist organizations, or they would hide their bigotry when they're at work, and then would come out after hours in private meetings with people.
Yeah, because I remember. So let me go back to April Gady for a minute.
Your buddy.
She's not my
No,
buddy.
No, I'm joking. Go ahead.
Bye-bye.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh my goodness. I wouldn't hang out with her even if she paid me.
Okay, go ahead.
If she made a cake for me, I wouldn't hang out with her.
Nice.
Anyway, so when I saw that very disturbing 2020 story on the her daughters who sang racist music, they showed a clip of them at, I don't know how they were able to do this, but they showed a clip of them at this white supremacist gathering, and it seemed like a very, very small gathering. Very small audience. They were performing in front of men and women, and I'm like, I wonder how they can live in society and know that they are doing, they are subscribing to a very harmful rhetoric.
They don't see it that way.
And they don't see it that way. I know they don't see it that way. Yeah, and they think that they're doing right, and then I saw a clip of April Gady at this restaurant, and I think they were doing a documentary on her, and they found out who she was, and they said, you have to leave. We have to ask you to leave now. So something must have happened, and they noticed that who she was, and they had to ask her to leave because they don't want people like her in the restaurant. And I understand why, because somebody might get killed.
Oh yeah.
She might kill them.
You never know.
You never know. She might have explosives with her. She could look like she's a sweet, innocent mother.
Well, yeah, and let's say some black guy who is well-dressed comes in there with his kids, and that's just the last straw for her because he hates black people. And then she maybe doesn't plot a bomb, but maybe she tries to attack him.
Exactly.
You just don't know. Exactly.
You just don't know. And that's one thing that's really, really crazy about a story like this. They would either have to confine themselves to the woods or something in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Or something has to happen.
And I think that's why a lot of them speak in dog whistles too. They don't say they hate black people or they hate Asians. They say, well, I want to celebrate my own kind. Or I really want my daughter to marry somebody who's in line with our heritage.
Right, exactly.
They word it in such a way to where they can get away with it and you're being a little bit sneaky about it.
And that's where language comes in. It's very subtle. Oh, I want to serve my kids more European traditional meals.
Yeah.
Instead of other ethnic dishes. Yeah, it's interesting to me. There was a guy that I heard about named Tim Zoll.
I don't know about this guy, but go ahead.
I think his name is Tim Zoll, and he was working with people that had issues with other races, and because he used to be that kind of a person. I think he used to be a radical. I think he was either a racist or he believed the Holocaust was not real or something.
Wow.
I forgot what it was, but he really got radicalized, and then something happened to him, and he changed his beliefs completely, and he was working with people to stop that. So. But the people like the Christian Piccolinis of the world, we need more of those people.
We do. And just telling somebody you're out of this movement, but you were a hateful person, isn't going to help it. But it is a weird thing at the same time.
Because he was a supremacist too, right?
Yeah, he talked about it when I saw him speak.
That's right. Yeah, because I heard that, and how what has completely changed his mind. But we need more Christian Piccolinis in the world.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we need more people who weren't radicalized, and that, we need people to de-radicalize.
Exactly.
People.
I'm sure that there are. I'm sure that there are ways to make people aware of the stuff that's on the internet and that is so harmful, especially to kids.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know. I think even in that piece that Diane Sawyer did with those kids, about those kids, I think there was a guy, I think his name was like Sean Sugg or something, and
I don't know.
Suggs or Sugg or whatever, and he has been known to make racist rock music too.
Yeah, I don't know about that guy, so I can't say either way, but
but either way, I mean, I'm sure that there are organizations that are fighting back against this stuff.
Well, Christian Piccolini started an organization. I forgot the name. I think
forgot it too.
Life After Hate.
Oh, I forgot that too.
Yeah.
Maybe he could. I don't know if it's possible, but it's possible. It might be possible for him to maybe de-radicalize April Gady.
I don't know.
What I thought was interesting too is when he would talk to these people and then he would eventually introduce them to the people.
Yeah, like when he told the story when I went to see him live when he was performing at TED.
Yeah. In
Denver back in the day, and he told this story about he was called in. There was a guy who hated Muslims.
Yeah.
They all were responsible for 9/11 and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And so Christian Piccolini went to the bathroom, called up this Muslim imam, took the guy over to meet him. They had a 3-hour heated debate. But now they've become friends, and occasionally they'll hang out together.
And they were crying, and at the end of the workshop, they were crying. I just thought it was so interesting. And then I remember when he was saying that he fell in love with this woman, and they got married, but then
she was too far into the white supremacy. He was too far rather into the white supremacy.
And then they got divorced. Yeah. But then it changed his mind.
Yeah, what's that got to be like being that guy? Christian Piccolini, and being like, man, I was a full-on racist, hate
and he might actually.
Person.
I wonder if he gets hate mail.
I'm sure he does. He probably gets it from both sides. Probably from people who are still part of the hate movement and people who don't think that you can ever reform from it.
Right.
And I see the argument for saying I don't know if somebody could ever reform from it, but I do believe that you also have to look at what people do. Instead of just saying I'm no longer racist, you have to actually look at their activities.
Right.
And from what I can tell, it seems like he's reformed.
Yes.
I'm not with him every day, so I don't know for sure. Right.
Yes.
Did you just fart?
I don't know.
Oh my goodness.
Well, you have to edit that one out, bub.
All right. Well, moving on from that, babes.
Moving on from that.
Even if my nose can't.
Hey. It wasn't like I did it on purpose, okay?
Oh my goodness.
Okay, I think you should edit that one out, okay?
I don't know. We'll
Please.
see. We'll see, babes.
Please.
We'll see what happens, babes. I can't vouch for anything. Well, we're not going to do that, but what we will do is we're going to start an organization called Life After Farts. About people who were big fans of farting and now have gotten out of that world.
Farting is a bodily function, by the way.
Okay.
It's not like you can avoid doing it in public, but it isn't like it can never happen.
No, but some people do it a lot more than others.
Hey!
It'll be like you'll give a TED Talk in a couple of years talking about, I was the biggest farter in the world.
Bubs.
What?
Bubs, you gotta look this up, Bubs.
Go ahead.
Eric Swalwell was doing an interview, and he farted on TV.
I have no clue who Eric Swalwell is.
Eric Swalwell was one of the people that was that was running for president at one time, but of course he was no longer in the race. He was a congressman in California.
Okay.
And he farted on TV. It was like he was talking and you know.
Oh my goodness.
It was hilarious.
Wow.
A lot of people were laughing about that. And
I'm not really a huge fan of fart humor. It's not that I'll never laugh at it, but it has to be done really, really well.
No. That was funny. That was funny. That was a lot of people, I think on both sides, were laughing at it.
Oh, good.
But I honestly think he's a disgraced congressman.
I don't know anything about this, homeboy.
So. You're not missing much.
Yes.
But he is and he also had he also was in a scandal because he had an affair with this Chinese operative.
I don't know about that.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Was it a Chinese operative? Yeah, it was. It was.
I don't know if that's true. That's for you and Mr. Swallow to discuss. But moving on.
Oh my goodness. I think we should edit that
Babes.
one. Yes.
I was late to listening to Biggie, right?
Uh-huh.
So growing up, I was more of a Tupac fan. I didn't listen to Biggie. This is how late I was.
Uh-huh.
He had already been dead for a couple years before I really started.
Wow, are you serious?
Yeah, because I was a dumb kid and I loved Tupac and Ice Cube.
Because I heard him way before that.
Well, it's not that I didn't hear him before that. I did, but as far as actually like buying the albums and listening to them, I didn't do that until like 99 or 2000 because I was very much into West Coast rap music, right?
Uh-huh.
And they played some of his stuff out here, but it wasn't like it was in New York, I'm sure.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Now, having said that, once I became a fan, I really started to dig his music.
Uh-huh.
And the song that made me, I heard Big Papa and I heard Hypnotize a lot on the radio. But the song that really turned me into a fan was off Ready to Die, track number 2, Things Done Changed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Another song that they played on the radio was I'm Going Back to Cali, which you had not heard till this morning.
Well, I don't remember hearing it, but I listened to it, and it's possible that I did hear it. But I didn't, I suppose I did hear it. It sounds familiar to me.
I really like that song.
Yes.
But
the beat is really good.
A couple things. I don't like, that's off of Life After Death, which was the second album. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's nearly as good as Ready to Die for a couple different reasons.
Okay.
I feel that by that point he had become so successful that it's not like he was just phoning it in, but it was a little bit less, I don't know, it just had a little bit less magic to it. Mm-hmm. It was also a little bit too long. The album should have been one album and not 2 discs. And that I don't like long intros to songs. And that album had a lot of long intros on it.
Yeah.
And Going Back to Cali had like a 1.5-minute intro. Mm-hmm. So I found a version that didn't have the long intro. Unfortunately, it was also the radio edit. And I don't like those.
Okay.
But you enjoyed it though. You don't mind radio edits.
I don't really, I honestly think if you want to buy a unedited version, you can do that. I just don't, I'm not as deep into hip hop as you are.
Okay.
I like a lot of stuff from the radio, but I don't really like a lot of, underground stuff either, and I'm not really in that as much as you are.
Yeah, and there's a difference between underground stuff and album cuts.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't consider anything Biggie did to be underground, but maybe it's like less commercial or album stuff versus the single.
But I mean, I'm not really, I'm not really into the, there's some rap people there's some rap artists that you even talked about, and I'm like, who are they? I don't know. I'm not really, if somebody wants to listen to an edited thing, it's fine, but I'm not really into that stuff anyway, so. It doesn't really bother me if it's edited.
Yes.
I don't care.
Is it just me, babes? Mm-hmm. Or is Gang Starr a little bit more popular now than they were when Guru was alive?
I have no idea. Shocking about.
You never listened to Gang Starr or Guru?
No.
Okay.
I told you that.
Okay.
See, that's exactly my point. There's some rap artists that I'm like, I have no idea who you're talking about.
So, way back in the day, one of the first East Coast artists I really got into was Guru from Gangstar. Mm-hmm. And I think he's more popular now than he was when he was alive. Which is unfortunate because, oh my God, he made some great albums, babes.
Okay.
We have to listen to Jasmine Tass 2, A New Reality, from beginning to end one day. You're like, no, B, no. Why are you doing that, Bob? Take out 1 or 2 songs.
No, I mean, I will say though that the jazz rap is cool.
Yeah.
I did listen to a little bit of that, but and it is kind of cool. But I don't know. I'm just not like as big a hip hop fan as I thought I was. I'm not really.
Do you think that that's something you realized when we started dating?
No, I've kind of been, I mean, I've realized that over the years, like, I like a little bit of it, but I'm not really deep into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, I don't listen to as much rap as I did when I was in my 20s, but it's still the predominant form of music in my life. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that when I was growing up, rap was also kind of growing up, you know? And so it's listening to it in some ways is a reflection of my childhood.
But I liked the stuff that I heard when I was growing up, but more, I think I liked it when it was starting. You know, it seemed very,
new.
It seemed very new. It was, you know, it talked about a lot of like, basketball and
they're playing basketball
and these are the breaks. Break it up, break it up, break it up. And it seemed like really funky and it just seemed fun, you know? It just seemed like really fun to me, and it wasn't like big into the streets and the gang life, and I just wasn't into that. And it was just I don't know, it was just like a good time type of thing, like the Sugar Hill Gang, and you know, I liked Salt and Pepper. And
to me, this is why rap was so great, because if you wanted to listen to something fun, you could put on Curtis Blow or Run DMC. But if you wanted something a little bit more hardcore, you could listen to Biggie or Tupac or Ice Cube.
Right.
If you wanted something that was more jazzy with a cool laid back vocal, you could throw on some Gangstar.
Right.
Like, it's the genre has so much variety to it.
It does. And jazz rap does sound kind of cool, actually.
Mm-hmm. That New Jack Swing sound, as they call it.
New Jack Swing.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So anyway, but I liked, the days of, Roxanne. Yeah, where girls were competing against each other with who's the best DJ or
who's the real Roxanne.
Who's the real Roxanne?
All those dancer songs.
Right. And I mean, it was fun. Or even JJ Fad stuff was okay.
It was all right.
It was okay. Yeah. I think they were trying to be Salt and Pepper.
Yeah, and it's interesting because Dre produced their first album, right? And then he went on, then he became like, I think JJ Fat was originally produced by Dr. Dre.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, and then he went on to, of course, become this huge star with a homeless daughter, and, you know.
we should talk about that, shouldn't we?
Well, it's weird. This will come out later, but I found out, or I heard earlier this week that Dr. Dre's daughter is homeless. And Dre's worth something like $500 million, maybe more.
Yeah.
It's sort of like, you can't give your daughter a little bit of money, bro.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that dude produced like half the soundtrack to my childhood. You know?
Right.
So this is kind of strange to me.
It is.
Yes.
I don't know. It is.
Yes.
But I liked, I think, was it Curtis Blow who did Basketball?
Yes.
We're playing basketball. That's a great song.
It is a great song.
Yes.
And the Brockhem, KRS-One. Oh, so much good stuff from that era.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I still like some of the newer KRS-One songs.
Did you get into I didn't really get into Q-Tip, but I liked some of his stuff. You know that.
Oh yeah.
I liked. He did some jazzy stuff. It sounded jazzy.
Yeah, here's the thing. I never really listened to a lot of Q-Tip, but usually when I listened to him, I enjoyed the fact that I heard it. If that makes any sense. Like he was never like, this is my top 10 favorite rapper of all time. But when I put it on, I'd usually really enjoy the experience.
I liked a little bit of the Eclipse.
They were good.
Yeah, I liked a little bit of the is it the Eclipse or the Clips?
I think it's the Clips.
The Clips, yeah.
Yeah, I like that song. What was it? Lord Willing was good. And then
I didn't hear that one. I liked Grindin'.
Grindin's good.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then who is that dude from the Clips? Didn't he get into a beef with didn't Pusha T get into a beef with Drake? Or am I remembering?
I have no. I don't keep up with these beefs that you talk about.
Okay.
I really don't care.
Maybe I should watch a little bit less Carcino for Life then. I don't know.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't comment on that.
Oh.
Yes. I only eat beef. I don't.
Oh my goodness.
A beef.
Did you ever watch that DVD series, babe? It's called What's Beef?
No.
And I think they did 4 of them, and it just chronicles different hip hop beefs.
No, I just eat beef. I don't.
Oh my goodness.
I don't pay attention to the beefs that people are having.
Yes.
Artists that are in a beef with each other. I eat beef. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
I know, corny joke.
Corny joke.
But sometimes you go corny too.
Usually not.
Whatever.
I like how you still deflect, even though I didn't say anything. Like,
no, it's called being
Bubs, but you do corny jokes too, so let's move on.
It's called offense, Bubs.
Do you think that that's working for you well?
Yes.
How?
Well, because for so many years I've been on defense a lot, and I'm tired of being on defense because it never works.
Okay, how does offense? When has offense helped you?
Well, I think that offense has helped me because it's not putting the responsibility. It's not putting it on me. It's putting it on them instead of sounding like a whiny person. Like that's not true.
Well,
that's not true.
Well, what if? Here's an idea, babe. So we don't have to linger on this. Instead of either saying that's not true or you do this too, listening to the person and maybe deciding that not everything they say is correct, but out of the 10 points they make, there might be 3 valid points.
Oh, I've done that too.
Okay.
But there are times where I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna be on offense this time. I mean, I don't do it all the time. I think I do it more with you though.
Okay. I don't like that. You can stop that right now if you want, babes.
No.
Oh.
No, I can choose to. I've listened to you before. I still listen to you.
Oh,
but
good.
There are times where I've been on offense, like anyway.
Oh my goodness.
And I've dealt with bullies in my time, and I'm just like, I'm not going to be bullied anymore.
How does that work with female bullies? Were there a lot of fights when you were growing up where it got physical?
No. I never gotten physical.
Really, never.
I'd never had a desire to get physical because I'm afraid that they would probably hurt me more. Because you know me, I'm not a big person.
But you used to be a bodybuilder, though.
It's called powerlifter.
Powerlifter. Okay.
No. I've never had to get physical with girls, but there are girls that were, that have been less than kind to me in my middle school years and probably in my high school years, and I never had to get physical with them. No.
Wow, that's so strange to me.
No.
I think just because when I was coming up, we did get into fights,
No, I never had to. I'm thankful I never had to. Either because somebody came to my defense or something happened to where I never saw them again. Mm-hmm. Like they weren't in school anymore or something like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
They died.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my badness.
No, I never had to touch them. No. Never did.
That's good, babes.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
That's right, you.
I think it happened more in my middle school years I don't think I had to deal with a bully in high school. I'm sure that there were girls that were mean to me, but I never really had to deal with them.
I never got into a fight after I went to MLC. But before then, I mean, because that's a big hippie school.
Yeah.
In the lead up to that, I got into my fair share of fights.
But did you finish it?
There were times where I lost, and there were times when I won. I had about a 50-50 record.
But you never got, like, seriously, like, hurt where you had to go to the hospital or anything?
No, I got hurt, but not that bad. I don't... God, this is going to sound like I'm bragging. There were a few times where I really, really did hurt kids.
Okay.
But it was never, like unprovoked.
You never started it or anything?
No.
But you finished it?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, this is where... I think parents are doing their children a disservice when they don't teach them how to defend themselves.
I completely agree with you.
And I grew up hearing things like, well, you can never solve anything with hitting. You should always tell an adult. Yeah, but what if the adult is not being an adult?
Exactly.
And they're not doing what they're supposed to do.
Or there's not an adult around.
Because I was bullied in 7th grade, and I was being hit, and nobody, the people that didn't help, that were not, they were not helping me. They should have been held accountable for it. And I think it was the principal who decided that, oh, well, instead of keeping her bully away from her, we're just going to have her be around the bully and have the bully be her guide for a field trip. And that was a disastrous thing. Yeah. And it was a good thing that I had the idea of sitting next to somebody else on the bus, because then I would rid myself of her, because she could have completely hurt me on that trip.
Did I tell you, babes, that when I was in 2nd grade, I had this bully, I'm not going to say his name, but believe me, I still remember it.
Yeah.
And he used to beat me up every day in school.
Oh.
But he kind of lived around the way. So one day I see him after school, and I start beating him up. Mm-hmm. And a friend of my dad's pulled me off of him. Mm-hmm. I wish he didn't.
Yeah.
But he did, and that is what it is. So this kid never got in trouble at school. Mm-hmm. But when I beat him up outside of school, we both got called into the principal's office the next day.
Really?
And I remember being so angry, like, y'all couldn't do anything about this on your school grounds.
Yeah.
But now you want to butt in when I do something in my own
right, exactly. Yeah.
And I thought to myself, fuck these people.
Okay.
You're standing up now when it's safe and convenient for you. When you can be like Monday morning quarterbacks. But when I actually get harassed on your property, you don't have the balls to do shit about it.
Here's a couple stories I'll tell you.
Go ahead.
There was so I have a friend who was bullied by this one girl, and he was very upset. I think he was going to was it a public school? I forgot what it was. It was before he went to the blind school with me. He was going to a school where he was bullied by this girl, not a guy, a girl. And the teacher found out about it. She was very compassionate. And she gathered the kids around this girl. And I'm not going to give their names, okay?
No.
And I'm going to say... And then she goes, okay, now, you stay here. She told the girl to stay in a certain place. And then she tells my friend, okay, now, shove her, right? Shove her hard. So he shoves her, and she's crying, and she said, see, that's how he felt when you did it to him. And here's another story.
Go ahead.
I was friends with this couple, and their son was being bullied by this kid all the time. And they told, I think they told the principal or whoever it was, and they weren't doing anything. And then finally his parents said, okay, the next time he does this to you, take him out. So the next time this kid hurt him, he took him out with a chair. And then he gets called in the principal's office, and the parents go and talk to the principal and says, we told him to do that because you weren't doing anything about him, and from now on we're going to take him out of school because you're not doing your job. So I think that it's so important for parents to tell their kids, if these adults are not going to do what they want to do, then you have the right to take care of this.
Yes. So here's the thing.
Yeah. I don't condone violence, but if they have to use violence to get them off of them,
yeah,
I think it's very important.
Okay, I love the stories you just told me.
Yeah.
And if I had a choice between how it was when we were coming up and how it is now, where there's like strict anti-bullying policies at school, I definitely lean more towards let's have anti-bullying policies. But if I had my choice over overall, how would I deal with these problems? I think you got to do two things. I think you got to teach kids how to defend themselves. I think you have to, more than two things. You have to have teachers who are on it and not just looking the other way when it's convenient, like we did when I was coming up.
Yeah.
But you also have to have it to where you teach kids about conflict resolution as well.
Absolutely. I was actually, there was talk of me becoming a conflict mediator in high school, but that never happened.
Oh, I never knew that.
Did you not know that?
No.
Okay, so this is another story I'll tell you, and I think you'll be proud of you, Jaylo.
Go ahead, Jaylo.
There was a kid who will not be named. My sister knew who he was. Very annoying. And he was asking me all these questions, and I had to do something. I think I had to go to class.
Yeah.
And eventually I just told him, you know what, just go, okay? Just go. I don't have time for this. I have to go to class. You gotta go, and I'm not gonna answer your questions. And, the woman at the, it was called the, LSC for the Learning Support Center. She noticed it, and she thought that it would be a good idea for me to be a conflict resolution mediator. And I for some reason, it never happened. I don't know why. But I got the kid to leave me alone. And she came, and I think someone told him to go away and leave me alone. So I didn't have to resort to violence, because the last thing I wanted, I would only use violence as a last resort.
I agree. Yeah.
But yeah, I could have been a conflict mediator. So
nice. Very cool, Jim.
Now here's a question though, and we can talk about the movie soon.
Yeah.
But what about cyberbullying? Because that's on the rise right now too.
That is way beyond anything I understand for a couple of different reasons.
Yeah, exactly.
One, I hate saying this because I sound like, somebody's grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
I'm old school. If somebody tried to bully me online, I just cut them out of my life.
Right.
Right? And I did have somebody who stole my identity and tried to pass as me.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to go into what I did here, but you know the story. And I handled it like somebody from the old school.
Exactly.
Way.
Okay.
Right.
But what if they are able to? What if they're super smart?
Well, what I was about to say. Also, I don't have kids.
Right. Okay.
And so that's another reason I don't understand that world that much.
Okay, I understand. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think in maybe it is as simple as cutting people out of your life, but if they're able to figure out a way to get into your passwords or into your accounts, then there's something that I'm not sure how to handle it.
I know how I would handle it, but maybe I shouldn't say.
No.
Because I'd sound like a complete psychopath by today's standards.
That's right.
But let's just say I would have some old school ideas about how to handle it, and leave it at that.
Okay.
Let's just say I like revenge movies.
Oh my goodness.
We'll leave it at that.
Okay.
But my way of handling it is so I can say two things.
Mm-hmm.
I love stories about people going out and handling things on their own and being a little bit of a vigilante.
Yeah.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's right, just because I think they make for cool stories that I'm entertained
So
by.
this is where since we're talking about vigilantes, I'm not going to mention this guy's name, but we know of him because of Clubhouse.
Go ahead.
You know where I'm going?
I think I do.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Guy is very talented. I don't know if I would be as daring as him to go after child predators the way that he has.
I agree with you. There's one thing between me admiring somebody who does something and me saying, I don't think I could do something like that.
It's such a daring thing, and he he has caught over 600 of them. Now, that is impressive, but would I suggest someone do that? No, because I think it's a job of, I think for the most part, it's a job of a sex crime unit to handle that.
So this is interesting. We get into an area of humanity where you can admire something and not condone it at the same time. So it's not only you admire it and you want to do it.
No.
You admire it and are not sure that other people should do it, including the person who you're admiring.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that is such a bizarre area of psychology that it's kind of beyond my understanding of how to sort those things out in my head.
It's like I'm thinking to myself, is this person has something that they're passionate about, but at the same time, are they trying to play God? Are they trying to play God?
I don't look at it like that. I kind of think my thought process is, I hope that they don't get hurt in the process.
Exactly.
And I hope that somebody doesn't accidentally get caught up in the mix who really isn't part of this world.
Right. They're completely innocent and then they get hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is bizarre, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It is very bizarre.
But that's why we live in the gray area most of the time, or at least I do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I do a lot of stuff that I think is in the gray area, as do most people. All of my friends do as well.
Mm-hmm.
And to some extent, that's good. And to other extents, that's really horrible.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, Jaylo.
That's white.
That's white, Jaylo.
That's white.
Yes. Babes.
Yes.
Yesterday, we watched a little bit of Ken Burns' documentary on the Civil War.
It was a powerful one, and then I think there were times where I was not quite there, but I was awake for the most part. Most of the focus, not all of it, but was on Gettysburg and that battle. Gettysburg, I didn't realize. I heard about how bloody it was, but I didn't know how bloody it was until yesterday. Because it was, I mean, a lot of people died. There were some regiments that lost 100%.
Yep.
And only 3 people survived.
And
one
others,
of them. Only 46 people survived. I mean, there's a lot of lives lost.
Well, the one unit you're talking about, there was something like 285 people in it.
Yes.
And only 47, I think, escaped without
47,
injury.
Yeah.
There was some other story. I don't think it was at Gettysburg, but it talked about how a group of Confederate soldiers went into Union territory and captured free black people and brought them into the South and made them slaves. Right. Which is, I mean, I can't condone slavery on any level.
No.
But it's so I don't want to sound like I'm minimizing anybody who was in slavery, but to me, on the surface, that sounds way worse. One day you're a free person and you're in free territory.
They brought them back, but then there was one scene where they were talking about a bunch of Confederate soldiers were killed off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there was that other part of the documentary where they tell the story of a man who was a slave. He escapes, joins the Union Army, and they were kind of late to let slaves or black men fight in the war. But he's fighting, and he sees that his old master was caught by the Union.
Oh, wow.
And is kind of like being imprisoned. What do you think that experience was like for both of them?
I don't know. Maybe it has brought them to another level with each other because now the master knows what it's like to be imprisoned. Mm-hmm. Because that's how he was treating a slave. Yeah.
Although I think, honestly, if I had my choice between being a slave or being a prisoner of the Union, I'd rather be a prisoner of the Union.
Mm. I wouldn't want to be either.
I wouldn't want to be either, but if I had to choose, I would almost definitely go with being a prisoner of the Union as a white person back then. Yeah. I'm not a Jesse Jackson fan.
Me neither.
So
thank goodness.
Don't get it twisted.
Me neither.
Anybody who calls himself a reverend and has kids with somebody who isn't his wife while he's still married is somebody who I think is probably a con man.
And so is Al Sharpton. Yes.
Yeah, it definitely seems like that when you look into the whole Tijuana Brawley thing.
Oh yeah, Al Sharpton has spoken horrible things about the Jewish people.
But
anyway, go on.
That wasn't the point of bringing up Jesse Jackson.
Yes, go on.
He told a story about, and I hope I'm getting this right, his dad was in the army during World War II.
Uh-huh.
And they captured these Nazi soldiers and were taking them back to camp. Uh-huh. And the black soldiers had to sit behind the Nazi criminals because at least the Nazis were white.
Wow.
Yeah.
They had to sit behind them.
Yes.
Well.
Like they weren't worthy enough to sit in front with the other soldiers just based on the color of their skin.
Wow.
Yeah.
But they captured them.
They captured them. Yeah, this was after they were captured.
Wow.
And they were taking them back to wherever they were going.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And so I imagine stuff like that went on all the time during the Civil War. Wow. Even though I wasn't there. No. I'm not that old.
No.
So I don't know for sure.
Well, we weren't, both of us weren't there.
That's right.
We're not very old.
Yes.
We're toddlers compared to those people.
Oh my goodness.
If they're still alive.
No, they're not alive.
No, if they were alive, we would be toddlers compared to them.
Yes, right, babes. I think the last person who served in the Civil War was in their hundreds when they died in 1959.
Whoa.
I think the documentary said at one point.
Wow.
Yeah, and then it was powerful. They had this black man who was a slave and escaped. So the documentary, parts of it were shot during the 80s, and they had his daughter, who was 104, read some of his poetry. That's right,
Daisy. Yes. Yeah. Her name was Daisy.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot the guy's last name.
But
it was very powerful, and I mean, she was already old, but she read it, and it was wow.
Yeah.
She read some poems. Yes.
I'm wondering, babes.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to insult you, but let's just say you're not the biggest fan of history.
I never said that.
You're not a student of history.
Well, I haven't.
You didn't know a lot about the Civil War before starting.
No, I did. I didn't get no. Mm-mm.
And I know we haven't finished with it yet.
No.
But what are some takeaways you have from it so far? The entire series.
I had no idea about the Confederacy having their own constitution, and this is why I think that civics classes should be much, much, much more in depth than when I went to school, because there is only so much that I learned. I didn't know that, and I didn't know how bloody how much of a bloodbath the Gettysburg was, and how many people were gone within the first part of the war when they were when the war was at Shiloh.
Yeah,
I mean that was a bloodbath in itself. I mean, wow. I mean, so many people risked their lives. Wow.
It died.
I know, it was powerful. The first 5 installments of this documentary wasn't just bloody, but very, very powerful. How many do we have left?
I think we have 3 left, 3 or 4.
Okay, wow.
We could potentially listen to them over the phone at some point, because I know your mom's coming to town. Mm-hmm. And we do want to finish them relatively quickly, so I can show you Gone with the Wind and The Boys.
Oh my goodness.
Because I really want you to hang out with Butcher for a couple of hours.
Uh-oh. I don't know, with a name like Butcher, it doesn't sound...
Oh my god, he's such a great character on that show. I think he's played by Carl Urban. Oh my god, I love his character of Butcher.
I know.
Yes. But that's just me, babes.
Okay.
Yes. I'm glad you're taking something away from this.
No, of course. It's I mean, I did not watch any Ken Burns documentaries until we started seeing each other. Mm-hmm. So now I have an appreciation for Ken Burns, because his documentaries are really well done.
Yeah. One of the few advantages to going to a lot of different schools, and I may have said this before, but I'll say it again, is there were times where I got to hear about a subject from different points of view, because they were taught in different grades.
Yeah.
So I told you the thing about how I first went into sex ed when I was in 3rd grade.
Wow.
And then I went to another school and we did it in 6th grade.
Oh, wow.
But when it comes to the Civil War, I had a really good teacher in 5th grade. And then later on that year, I was in a different school where 2 other teachers covered it differently.
Oh, wow.
So I feel like I did a fair amount of learning about the Civil War because of that.
Okay, and then now that you're watching a documentary on the Civil War, it's more, it has affirmed a lot of things, right?
Yeah, but I've also seen the series like 3 times.
Oh, you have? Okay.
And I've read books about the Civil War.
Okay.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes, yeah. Well, you know what I've thought about getting as like a gift to some sighted people I know?
What?
They have this book of Civil War pictures that they've colorized.
Really?
And they call it the Civil War in Color.
Really?
And I thought that would be an interesting gift for people. Who are sighted, not my blind friends.
Oh, wow. Well, obviously not.
Yeah.
If for those who don't know colors.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Where would you get that?
Off of Amazon.
Oh, cool. I think that would be good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you know a lot of sighted people that are really into history, so I think they would like that.
I hope they're into history.
Yes.
They at least pretend to be. Yes. Yes, yeah, well.
Okay.
Okay. Babes, what did we eat last night?
We made some tostadas, and it turned out really good. I told you that I was having some problems with one burner, and I think it's because I think I need to take it out and put it back in again, or secure it again. It's
really in there tight, the burner.
But I think there's something going on with it. I have to see. I think I have to take it apart. Because you said it was stuck.
Yes. When I try to I attempt to cook it on Alana's back right burner, which is the one I typically go to because I'm lazy.
I like that one.
And I like consistency.
Yeah.
And it's getting warm, the burner is, but the beans and onions aren't really heating up.
And I had that problem this week too. And I'm like, I think I need to take it apart and put it back in again.
Mm-hmm.
Because something's going on here. And it shouldn't be like that. But my other burners are working very well.
Yeah, once I switched burners, it was fine.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to, because I noticed when I try to take out your burners, because they get stuck really easy, I end up kind of lifting the top of the stove.
Yeah.
I don't like doing that just because I don't want to break a spring or something.
Right. And I've been kind of moving the coils, trying to figure out why it's not doing that, and I think I just need to take it apart and put it back in again.
Yes.
So annoying. But
I made a comment that when I cook tostadas, I typically like to use refried beans. Mm-hmm. And I was a little bit surprised that you had bought black beans. And at first you didn't get it.
Yeah, well, because we've used black beans for other things.
And I like them for other things.
Yeah, and I just thought, well, maybe it would be good with tostadas. And because we haven't made a lot of tostadas. So, I don't know. I didn't have refried beans at the time either.
Yeah.
And we kind of were doing this at the spur of the moment because by the time we figured out what we were going to do, it was already Thursday.
And I was focused on other stuff.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, maybe we should just do it with black beans because we've made a lot of Mexican stuff with black beans. So I'm like, okay, but it still tasted good.
It still tasted good, but now you see my point after having the tostadas. Mm-hmm. Like they work with tostadas, but refried beans are definitely better.
And I also know that when we cook with refried beans, we don't have to drain it, which is good. Yeah. It keeps the juices in there.
Correct you. Well.
Yes. So now tostadas with refried beans. Okay. But it was really good.
It was. And you played me a foreign band?
Well, okay, so there's a band called Little River Band, and you said you were familiar with them a little bit.
I heard of them, but I didn't go deep with them.
I didn't know that they were from Melbourne, Australia. Melbourne, Australia. I thought they were from the U.S., but I heard a lot of their music growing up.
Are you playing with your box?
No.
You're just tapping your fingers.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm tapping it on the nightstand.
Okay, that will come out on the recording, but keep going.
Okay, I'll stop it now.
Okay, thank you.
Anyway, and the other thing. Anyway, so Little River Band is from Melbourne, Australia, and I like some of their stuff.
They were good.
Yeah.
They're fun to listen to.
They were.
Yes.
And I said it didn't sound too white for you.
Because I will often complain when Alana puts on music. This sounds very white. And
sometimes.
Kind of like 70s AM radio.
Sometimes, but a lot of the times I'll put on something soulful because we both like that stuff.
Yeah.
But I said, I want to put on some Little River Band because I don't think you've heard a lot of their stuff. Mm-hmm. So, and you said you liked it.
It was good.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yes. Jaylo.
Yes.
We watched some films last night. Unless there's anything else you want to discuss first.
No, and it was Elia Kazam films.
That's right.
And they were pretty good. The second one was better.
I was so thrilled that you liked A Face in the Crowd.
Oh, yes. I wasn't sure what to think about it because I always had this idea of Andy Griffith. Because I used to watch, I used to watch a little bit of the Andy Griffith Show, and he would do things for, he would do voiceovers for children's cartoons and some other things, and
he put out like church music too. And,
did he?
Yeah, and I only know that because in the 90s he'd have these commercials where he'd be like, "I'm Andy Griffith, and I've always loved the music of the church, and now you can collect these albums
from Time Life."
Yeah. Was it him singing? You know those commercials then?
What?
You said from Time Life, so you know those
commercials.
Well,
I've heard Time Life commercials all the time when I was growing up because they would always advertise for albums.
I don't know if they were Time Life, but they were something similar. And if I remember correctly, which, I did a lot of drugs, so who knows?
You probably don't.
I believe he was promoting an album that he sang. Mm-hmm. It was either he sang or he was promoting some gospel, some church album.
Right. From church album.
So I could see where you would have this image of him as very homespun and
very wholesome.
Yeah.
But before we get into that one,
let's talk about On the Waterfront.
And there were parts of the movie that I missed because I was tired again.
This is one of those movies that is considered a classic.
Yes.
I enjoyed it. I don't know if I
don't know if I have to see it again. I mean, it was good.
I will say this before we get into it.
Yeah.
Marlon Brando's performance it still holds up. It takes a little while to get into.
It does, yeah.
Because the first couple scenes with him, I'm like, oh, he's just being Marlon Brando.
Yeah.
But as you watch the movie and the performance unfold, it's a really strong performance.
Yes.
I don't know if I feel that way about the rest of the movie, but
yeah.
Do you want to give the premise or should I?
Well, I'll just give the beginning of it, and then you can add to it.
Do it.
So this starts off with his name is Terry Malloy. He calls us. Ooh.
Oh, my stomach. Something.
Ooh. Oh
wow,
man. So that comes out. That other thing. Oh my goodness.
Oh, wow. What was that?
Your stomach was growling. You have a lion.
Yes. I ate a lion for breakfast. What can I say?
No, we didn't. So what happened is Terry Malloy called his friend Joey. What's his last name?
I don't know.
Anyway, Joey. I forgot what it was. Very well known in the neighborhood. Very well liked. He says, "Hey, I'm gonna bring your. I've got your bird. So I'm gonna bring him up to you." And he goes, "Okay, I'm gonna be up on the roof." Terry goes up to find him, and something happens really quickly to where Joey falls to his death off of the roof. And his sister Edie finds him, and she says, "I want to know who killed my brother. I want to know who killed my brother." And this is where is this the scene where we're introduced to the priest?
Yes, I think he's at the crime scene, if I remember.
Yes, I forgot what his name was. They called him Father.
Father.
Okay, you go on.
Okay, so I don't actually think that Marlon Brando has a chance to go up.
Yeah.
But he tells him to go up to the roof, and then the guy's pushed over.
Yeah.
So that's just a little thing. And the Edie character is played by Eva Marie Saint, who we have watched in North by Northwest.
Yes.
Which, it's a great movie. Definitely watch that.
Yeah, it is good.
Oh my God.
It's very good.
Oh, Hitchcock. Anyways, after this, Terry goes to a bar where kind of like all the long fishermen people are hanging out at.
Yep.
And the mobster who kind of runs things says, "All right, Terry, here's a little bit of spending money, and we're going to give you this really, really easy assignment tomorrow. So, be good, enjoy yourself." And as he's leaving, somebody says, "Hey, just remember that you have friends here."
Yeah, and this is and the mob boss's name is Johnny Friendly. He calls himself Johnny Friendly, which he's not friendly.
Wah, wah,
wah wah wah.
So fast forward to the next day, Terry gets his assignment, and he's kind of just like chilling out, and hanging with Joey's birds and all that stuff.
Yes, and the kid is feeding the birds,
and the kid is kind of there, and I believe no, that's a little bit later in the movie.
Okay.
There's a lot of stuff in this film.
Yes.
And he's just going about his life, and one day he goes into work and he's just kind of hanging out, and somebody comes up to him and says, "We want you to go for the service that is being held for your buddy Joe." What is that? Yeah, Joey.
Joey, yes.
Yeah, because people are starting to ask questions.
Yes.
And we want you there. They didn't say this in the movie, but I think the reason they wanted him there is because if the union showed that they were sending people there, then people would be less likely to suspect them in being involved.
Uh-huh.
So Marlon Brando goes there. Eva Marie Saint is there. So are some people from the shore.
Yes.
And the priest starts talking about Joey and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And then there's kind of like shots outside.
Uh-huh.
So everybody has to leave in pairs of two.
Yeah.
Brando leaves with your girl, Edie.
Yep.
And they start talking, and he says, let me walk you home.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. It's not safe.
It's not safe, yep.
He does show. So she gets home, and she starts talking to her dad about how, I don't think I should go back to the convent and become a teacher. I think I should stay here. Yep. He guilt trips her and says, one of my arms is shorter than the other because I worked so hard to provide this life for you.
Oh, yeah.
And I think you need to go after him.
Right.
And stay away from Terry Malloy. Him and his brother are bad news.
Yep.
They do a lot of crime. Movie goes on. They hang out one night. They go to a bar, do some drinking, and she kind of confronts him and says, I really want to know who killed my brother. And he's just like, I can't tell you that. Believe me, it's for your own good. I'm trying to keep you safe.
Yep.
All this stuff.
Uh-huh.
Things leave. They leave, rather. Things kind of, go the way they're going to go.
Yes.
And we should say that after the shooting near the church, somebody came up to the father and said, I'm willing to testify and do whatever I can to prevent these mobsters from controlling the longshoremen.
Uh-huh.
But I'm only going to go in if you're going to go in with me, because I'm probably going to get killed and they're going to threaten you too.
Right.
The father agrees to
this.
The father.
Well, they were in New York, I think.
Yes. But they all lived in Boston. Every character from this
Boston.
Okay. So we go on. Things are starting to pick up. The one dude gets killed. And Marlon Brando has been... When they were drinking, they got up and danced during that scene. And he's approached by these cops who have been following him throughout the movie. They give him a summons saying, you have to show up to this court date. I believe it's that Friday at 10. So he's conflicted about this. Goes back to the church. He walks out with the preacher, and because the homeboy got killed, and he says, basically, you got to do what you feel is right.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But you owe it to Eva Marie Saint to tell her the truth.
Yes.
So he's open about it. Hey, I was partially responsible for having your brother killed.
Yep.
But I'm going to do the right thing. She freaks out, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Goes about her life. And one day he's kind of like playing with the pigeons. Mm-hmm. Now, we should also say that Terry was a boxer. And he was pretty good at it, too.
Mm-hmm.
But he was forced to take a dive because the mob placed money against him on the spot. Mm-hmm. And the cop actually was there for that experience. Mm-hmm. He didn't see the mobsters tell him to take a dive, but he saw Terry box. Mm-hmm. And he talks to him about that. Mm-hmm. And that gets Terry thinking. Mm-hmm. So by now, the mob is a little bit concerned about Jerry. Mm-hmm. About Terry, and they call him his brother, whose name is Charlie.
Charlie, yes.
Yes.
Charlie. Mm-hmm.
And they say, we got to get rid of your brother. He says, let me try to talk to him.
Mm-hmm.
There's a legendary scene where they're in a car together. And Charlie says, I can get you a job on the docks. You don't really do anything. And you can make up to $400 a week, which in 54 was a good amount of pay.
Yes, it was.
So they're riding around. And he says, you have until, I think it's 47th Street to decide.
Mm-hmm.
And then Terry realizes that when they get there, he might get killed. So he starts giving this speech about, you were my brother, Charlie. You should have looked out for me just a little bit.
Yeah.
I could have been somebody. That's where I could have been a contender.
I could have been a contender.
Instead of a bum.
Yeah, instead of a
which
bum.
Which is what I am.
Which is what I am, yeah.
Yes.
So, that now I know I've seen the movie that says that line.
That's right.
Yes.
And he guilt trips Charlie into letting him go. He says, okay, just go. Here's this gun. You're going to need it. And I'll pretend that I was unable to find you. What Charlie doesn't know is that the driver of the car has been talking to the mom. Okay? So he goes up to Eva Marie Saint's place. They start making out.
Yeah.
But then he's called downstairs. They say, we have your brother Charlie. Mm-hmm. Goes down, sees that they hung Charlie.
Oh. Yes.
He goes to the courtroom, testifies against the mob. They say, you're ruined. You're never going to work in this town again.
Yes.
He decides that he has to be strong, so he goes down the next day and asks for work. They say no. So he confronts the mob boss. They get into a fight. I don't think Terry and the mob boss get into a fight.
Terry and the mob boss gets into a fight, and Terry's hurt pretty badly.
Yeah, I don't think we see it on camera, but it's implied that some people step in to help the boss.
Yeah.
And Eva Marie Saint is there, along with some other people. I think maybe the priest, too. Mm-hmm. And they say, you have to stand up and walk so people know that they can fight they can fight against this guy.
Yep.
So they help him stand up. He walks along the waterfront, and it's implied that the mob boss loses all of his power.
Yeah, but he's like, hey, you know, and he was kind of saying, hey, you guys, you know, I'm still the boss, or whatever he said.
Mm-hmm. But everybody by this point is turned on him.
Right.
And that's the end of the movie.
I like how it ended, though.
I do like how it ended. We both separately had the thought that this movie kind of reminds us of Gangsters with Dirty Faces.
Angels with Dirty Faces.
Angels with Dirty Faces.
Yes, it does, because there was a priest that was trying to get these kids a better life.
Yeah.
And these kids were relatively young. But here, you've got the people that are working as longshoremen on the waterfront that are mobster people. And
the preacher, there's also a scene that where the preacher is on the waterfront after the guy who says he's going to turn state's evidence dies. Uh-huh. And the preacher said, I'm going to take up the fight. And he's talking about Christ is always with you.
Right.
And even here on the waterfront.
Yeah.
And I'm not a Jesus person, but I thought that was a really powerful scene.
It was a powerful scene.
Yeah.
And then he was encouraging Terry to not to fight this guy, but to go and testify against him in trial, because he knew that he knew the truth.
Even though they're very different movies, they do remind me of each other, and I like Angels with Dirty Faces a lot better than this.
I did too.
Yeah, but Brando was good in it.
He was very good, yes.
I think that if anybody else was cast in this movie, I don't know if we'd be talking about it today.
No.
Yeah.
No, he was good. He was very good. Although I do think that A Streetcar Named Desire was better.
I absolutely agree with you.
Yeah. I thought that he did a great job as a crazy person in The Streetcar Named Desire.
One thing that I found very unbelievable about this movie is after he tells Edie that he helped get her brother killed, she still makes out with him.
I don't understand that either.
That didn't make any sense.
How did they end up getting together?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Yes.
I don't get that. I'm like, oh, I thank you. I love you so much for telling me that.
Oh.
Now let's kiss.
She obviously doesn't value family as much as other
Apparently
people.
Not.
Yeah.
Apparently not. It's like, okay, well, I'm sad that my brother's gone. Let me just make out with you for a little bit.
The moral of the story is don't be Edie's brother, because if you get killed, she's gonna, make out with the murderer.
No. Terry wasn't responsible, though, I think.
He was partially responsible.
Oh, was he? Oh, that's right. Because
he didn't kill the brother, but he got him to go up to the roof.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
You're right about that.
I know that women like bad boys, but this is ridiculous.
Yes. You are correct.
Yes. Let's do a little bit of character analysis.
Okay.
Even though I'm not sure how deeply we can go.
I don't know either.
When we have the famous scene and Marlon Brando explains that he could have been a contender.
Yes.
But he places a lot of guilt on his brother.
Uh-huh.
Do you think that Charlie lets him go because he realizes that Terry's life would have been better without him? Or does he let him go because he thinks that Marlon Brando isn't made out for this type of life?
Oh, I don't know. I think the second thing. Yeah, it's possible he just let him go because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
What do you think happens to Terry after this experience?
It's possible he gets another job. Either he gets another job or he's a longshoreman, but he's no longer a part of the mob boss.
Oh, see, that's interesting. I think that the boss has him killed.
Oh.
Because even though the longshoremen turn on him, he still has money in some amount of it.
He has him whacked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe he does get whacked.
Sorry, go ahead.
And I think that Edie leaves him.
I hope so.
I hope so, yeah. Not good for her.
Okay, it's interesting to me that Marlon Brando won his first Oscar for this movie, where he plays somebody who stands up to the mob. And I know that they're not really called the mob in this movie, but that's really what they are.
Mm-hmm.
And he wins his second Oscar for playing the godfather of the mob, Don Corleone.
Don Corleone, yes.
I find that fascinating.
It is.
Yeah.
It is fascinating, okay.
And...
yeah, I know. I just realized that. I'm like, oh, wow.
Well, let's analyze this a little bit.
Okay.
I know they're two different movies, but it's the same actor.
Yeah.
And he's being rewarded in both cases, even though in the second case he turned down the Oscar. And he did it in a really sleazy way.
Oh, okay. I think you told me about that.
Yeah, he sent Sacheen Littlefeather to do it instead of just coming himself.
Wow.
And then the rumor I heard was after she got booed at the Oscars, he contacted the Academy and asked for his Oscar back.
Wow.
Marlon Brando was a bit of a scumbag in real life.
Yeah, that's what I hear. Yeah, what I hear.
But that's neither here nor there.
But he made for a good actor.
So let's analyze this.
Okay.
Am I reading too much to say that in some ways his Academy wins are reflective of the quote? What is it? If you die young, you die a hero. But if you live long enough, you live to see yourself become the villain.
It's possible.
Mm-hmm. And I know I misquoted that, but I always do that.
It's possible.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who's to say? But I think it is possible.
Do you think that it's true that if you live long enough, you usually live to see yourself become the villain?
I don't know if that's true for everybody. I think it's true for Marlon Brando.
Okay.
I mean, he's no longer here, but I don't think it's true for everybody. No.
Had he passed away in 1954,
yes,
he would have been considered this great actor with a lot of talent.
Yes.
And that might have been the end of his story.
Mm-hmm.
But now we think of him as this great actor who squandered a lot of opportunities.
Right.
Pissed a lot of people off. Potentially raped a woman.
Oh, I know.
Had these issues with his kid.
Right.
With his kids.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I don't know what to think.
I don't know what to think about that. I think he just... it seemed like he had some issues outside of that, outside of acting. So he took it into his acting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So.
What does the preacher tell us? Or I think they're priests.
That's a priest. Yeah.
Yes. Tell us about standing up against evil.
It seemed like he was the only constant.
You're playing with your phone.
Yes, I am.
okay.
Sorry.
That's okay.
He said, I think to me, both the priests in these movies were like the constant people in their lives.
Mm-hmm.
They were the constant people when everybody else wasn't around them.
To switch up a term, they were the moral minority.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They were the moral minority of those films. And the preacher, I keep saying it, he's a priest. That's different. The priest was the constant in their lives, in Terry's life, in the people's lives. He wanted to be there to make sure that they really thought things through when it came to evil, committing evil, and being around it.
Was Terry, do you think, always condemned to a life of mediocrity? Because we learn early on that him and his brother were placed in a home.
Yeah.
This is the only environment they really knew. There's the idea of, well, it's great to be the most righteous person on the planet and meditate for 15 hours a day. But in some instances, the best you can do is stand up to a mob boss once in a while.
Oh.
Do you think that he did the best he could do in his particular situation?
I think he could have done better.
Tell me.
Because just, how some people, when they make excuses like, well, I grew up in foster care and people have always turned against me and so I'm turning against the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I think the reason why the priest was there was to show Terry and his brother and other people that were a part of the mob that there was a better way. There was a better way and there was more to life than just this.
In some ways, watching this movie makes me like Angels with Dirty Faces even more.
Oh, yes, I do.
I mean, it's not just that I compare them, but I like that film more now.
I do too, yeah.
And it's kind of weird that film isn't really spoken about in the same way that On the Waterfront is.
Yeah, that one was... I did like Angels with Dirty Faces better.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. Are there any questions you have about the movie to me? Or comments.
Did you find any similarities between the two priests besides those besides they were in those two movies and besides that they were the only constant people in their lives?
No, I mean, I think they both wanted to do good. Mm-hmm. They both believed in Jesus. We don't really know much of the history about the priest On the Waterfront.
Right.
But in the case of Angels with Dirty Faces, we know that this father used to be involved in a lot of crime, and then he turned his life around.
You almost said he turned his wife around.
And then he, stuck it in the back.
What? Hey.
Hey.
This is not an X-rated episode.
Okay, babes. Those are your separate ones.
Hey.
Okay.
Stop it.
That's okay, babes. But I think that those are pretty much the only similarities between the priests.
Yes.
Yeah. What would you give this On the Waterfront movie on a scale?
I would give it a strong 7.
That's interesting. I'd only give it a strong 6.
Really? You said strong 7.
No, I think I said strong 6 last night.
No, you didn't.
Maybe a weak 7.
Okay. I gave it a strong 7. Well, or maybe I should take that back and give it at least a solid 7 in the middle. Not weak, not strong, but just a 7. Because I can do that.
You can?
Yes.
Would you recommend this movie to anybody?
I would. I personally would recommend Angels with Dirty Faces or A Streetcar Named Desire before this one. Mm-hmm. But this is still a good movie.
You know what I'm thinking, babes? I don't know this and I should. Mm-hmm. I should research who directed Angels with Dirty Faces and maybe watch more of their movies. Even though I understand that the process of directing wasn't quite the same in the 30s as it is now.
Right.
Like the studio had a lot more control. Mm-hmm. But it's still worth, researching.
Yes.
Yes.
Very good.
Very good, Jay. Well,
yeah.
Yes. I guess we can move on to...
We can move on to the better of the two movies.
A Jaylo in the Crowd.
A Face in the Crowd.
A Face in the Crowd.
You I think it's so funny that you've been getting into this habit of naming everything after me.
On the Jaylo front, Jaylo's with Dirty Faces.
A Jaylo in the crowd.
The outlaw Jaylo Wales. Jaylo Runner.
Jaylo Runner? Why is that?
I don't know, babes. I think it's just the way I am.
Really?
Yeah.
If you didn't know me, then you wouldn't be that way, right?
I don't think I would be, no.
Oh my goodness.
We listened to the little Jaylo band last night when we were making dinner.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
There is no Jaylos in the band.
Are you still playing with your phone?
Yeah, that's good.
Oh.
I'm just checking something though.
Oh my God.
No, no, there's no Jaylos in the band. Thank you very much.
Thank you, babes.
Okay.
But we watched a Jaylo in the Crowd last night.
A Face in the Crowd.
A Face in the Cloud last night with Jaylo Griffin.
Okay, stop.
Directed by Jaylo Kazan.
Stop it.
No.
Starring Andy Griffith and Patricia O'Neill, which both of them gave really good performances.
And Jaylo Mathile was good in this.
Oh my God.
No. This also has an early early performance by Walter Mathile, who's really good in this movie.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you want me to give the overview since I've seen it more?
Yes, go ahead. Give the overview and then I can add to it.
All right. So, homegirl Patricia O'Neill plays Marsha in this movie. Yes. And it starts off, she's in the South. She goes to a prison to record the people there because she does a daily radio program called A Face in the Crowd. Mm-hmm. And she wants to know if anybody there has any talent or anything to say. They all say no, but the sheriff remembers that they brought in a man last night for disorderly conduct, I believe.
Yes.
And his name was Larry Rhodes, but he goes by Lonesome.
Rhodes, yes.
They wake him up. He doesn't want to do anything. And then the sheriff explains, well, if you do this for me, you're supposed to be in here for another week, but I'll release you first thing tomorrow morning. Mm-hmm. Pulls out his guitar, does his performance.
The guitar was very much out of tune. It sounded terrible.
It did.
I mean, his voice was great, but his guitar was not.
No.
Yeah.
She takes back the tape to the radio station, is talking to her uncle who owns the station, and says, I really like this Lonesome Rhodes guy.
Yep.
I think he would be a great addition to the station.
Mm-hmm.
They call up the sheriff, who says he let him out, but he has some idea of where Lonesome might be headed next. Mm-hmm. They find him hitchhiking. He doesn't want to go back and do the show. So they say, okay, how about this? We'll give you a ticket to, I forgot where he's headed to.
Yeah.
A plane ticket, so you don't have to hitchhike. You only do the radio show for one day. Mm-hmm. And if you like doing it, you'll continue. And if you don't, you'll just leave. Mm-hmm. So he likes doing it. And he starts to talk about how men usually don't appreciate the hard work that women put in.
Right.
They think that, all a woman does is she runs some cold water on a dish and that's it. Yeah. But they don't know all the work that she puts in with cleaning out the grease and all this stuff.
In the oven and everything.
Yeah. And because of this, women start to really respond to his show.
Yep.
He decides to stay and he starts building a following. So he does things like saying, I know the sheriff is running to be mayor, but he can't even be a dog catcher. So and let's prove that.
Yeah, so he sends a bunch of people with their dogs to his house. I thought that was really funny.
Yeah. The show is growing in popularity, and a Memphis television station wants to try him out. Mm-hmm. He kind of makes the same deal that he did with the radio station. He says, well, I really like it down here, but I'll tell you what, I'll do the Memphis show for free for a couple weeks. And if you guys don't like me, I'll leave. But if you do, I'll stay if I also enjoy it, but it'll be for $1,000 a week. Goes out there and he does this homespun act on the air, pretending that he doesn't know where the camera is.
Right.
And that he's new at this. And he brings out this black lady, which is only... I hate it when white people have to point out the race of everybody. Yeah. But it's only important of the context of this movie came out in 1957 and it was in Memphis, Tennessee. Right. So it would have been very uncommon back then.
Right.
And he says, this young lady told me that her house burned down. She has, I think, 7 kids and really needs the money. So if you could send in a little something.
Yeah.
I think he raises like $18,500. Lady gets to buy her house.
Yep.
They bring in an audience for a show. It's growing in popularity. Walter Matthau is there as a writer.
Yep.
And he starts picking up sponsorships. They get a little bit nervous because of some of his stunts and commentary. But one guy from the office of the sponsor recognizes the potential of Lonesome Roads. So he calls New York and says, people are bidding against Lonesome Roads.
Yep.
You got to make us an offer by tonight. Goes to see Lonesome, who is thinking of skipping town. And this is after he had sex with Marcia.
Right, because right now he's he's deep in a relationship with her. Yep. Well, sort of.
He's in a relationship, but it's kind of like they're friends and associates who sometimes have sex.
Or something like that.
Yeah, they're not like dating like we are.
Right.
Guy explains, New York wants you. They're going to pay you a ton of money. He's like, cool, bro. Where do we sign up? The sponsor, a television sponsor who has this pill, which is kind of like a diet health pill.
It's called Vitajex.
Yeah,
And he recommends, because I think the pills are supposed to be blue, right? Are they blue?
They're white pills, and they're having trouble selling them.
It's like, I think we should make them yellow because it's the color of sunshine.
But he has all these ideas. They decide to go with it, and Vitamix becomes a success. Vitajex. Vitamix is a blender.
Yeah, Vitajex, yeah.
He gets his own show, and it's super, super popular.
Yep.
And Marcia's like, this is great. You know, you're making all this success, blah, blah, blah. Somebody comes in and decides to take Lonesome Roads under his wing and says, you're popular now, but with my help, you could really be an influencer and become a factor in politics and do some really incredible stuff. Yep. So Lonesome Roads starts to move up the ladder in life and becomes more and more lonely.
More and more lonely, yep. And go on.
He tells Marcia, I really want to marry you. I think you would be great as my wife. We make an awesome team. She's kind of going for the idea. She's hanging out one day, and who comes in?
His ex-wife.
Yeah, well, his current wife.
His current wife, I mean.
Who he just kind of left.
Yeah, he kind of left, and she said, okay, look, if you don't, I forgot what I think she threatened to not divorce him.
No, she's threatened a couple things. That, and she would go to the tabloids and tell the story of how Lonesome Roads beat her up and cheated on her. And left her, unless he agrees to pay her $3,000 a month. Yep. Marcia's freaked out by this. He talks to Lonesome, and he says, there's half-truths there. We did get a divorce, but it was in Mexico, and the judge got disbarred, so the courts are saying that this doesn't count. But I'll tell you what. I got to judge this beauty pageant this weekend. Afterwards, I'm going to go to Mexico and take care of stuff. Yep. So he meets a girl at the beauty pageant. Betty Lou, played by Lee Remick.
Okay.
And
not familiar with her.
Okay, fair enough. He goes to Mexico, comes back. Marcia's there to greet him at the airport, where he announces that him and Betty Lou just got married. She's upset with this.
Obviously.
And she's also developing a friendship with Walter Matthau, who came to New York with him to help write on the show. Yep. And Matthau is like, we know the truth about him. This guy is bad news. He should really be stopped. Yep. He's a bad guy. Yep. Lonesome Roads is asked to help a senator, I believe, who is running for president and not doing so well in the polls. Rhodes gives some advice and says, you should appear on my show. So the guy comes in and he starts to go up in the polls, and Lonesome Rhodes gets more and more full of himself.
Yep, he does.
One night he comes home and finds his kind of manager.
With Marcia. With Betty Lou.
It is implied that he just had sex with Betty Lou. Yep.
He's like, well, she's been waiting up for you and you haven't been.
And we know what you've been doing these nights when you've been away. Yep. So he sends Betty Lou away and is super upset. And life is not as great as it used to be.
And then where does he go? He goes to Marsha's.
Yes. And she's kind of upset with him. She talks to Walter Matthau, who left town for a while, but he comes back and says, I'm writing an expose on Lonesome Rhodes. I think it's called The Deity of Denim.
Yeah, I think that's right. Or something.
It's either The Deity of Denim or The God of Denim.
I forgot what it was.
Cool name, though.
It is.
Yes.
Whatever it was.
And Marsha's upset. She goes back to work. And Lonesome Rhodes is, he's doing his show, but he's kind of playing around, but also upset at the camera people, the engineers. And one person says in this booth, man, I really wish people knew what this guy was like off the air. Mm-hmm. They all leave. It's the closing credits. Lonesome Rhodes is on air, but his mic is off. Mm-hmm. Marsha turns it on, and he calls his fans a bunch of idiots.
Yeah, and then in the midst of all that, because he doesn't think that anyone's listening, he starts singing "Just a Closer Walk with Thee," and everybody finds out about what he said.
I don't know what "Just a Closer Walk."
It's a hymn.
Is. Okay.
Okay.
I like the hers better. Sorry, dumb joke.
Oh.
We should say that you told me to say that joke earlier.
I did not.
Okay.
But if I had the mixer, it'd be brum bum shh.
The infamous mixer.
And so everybody finds out, and they're calling in and say, I don't want to watch a show anymore. Mm-hmm. I'm done with it.
The senator turns his back on Lonesome Rhodes. He goes back to his place, and Marsha's still in the booth, the sound booth.
Yep.
Walter Matthau comes in and he says, you have to take responsibility, because by now Lonesome Rhodes has called her.
Yep.
And he says, if you don't take responsibility for this, Rhodes is going to take it out on 20 other guys who have nothing to do with this.
Yep.
You got to do the right thing, Marsha.
Yep.
Goes down to his place, tells Rhodes the truth. He kind of freaks out, and he says, I don't know what's going to happen to me. Walter Matthau has a very short but really cool monologue about, I know what's going to happen to you. You're going to lose this gig. But eventually you're going to get another opportunity in TV in a couple years. And you won't have the number one show like you do now. It may not even be in the top 10. It'll be like number 35. You'll still be making a living, but it won't be as good. And people will talk about, who is that one guy who is so famous just a couple years ago? Oh, it's Lonesome Rhodes. By the way, have you heard of this other guy who's like the new Lonesome Rhodes?
Yeah, have you heard of Barry Mills?
Yeah. I'm not doing the monologue justice, but
yeah.
I really like that monologue.
Yeah, like he's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They leave. Marsha's about to get in a cab, and Lonesome Rhodes is screaming from his rooftop apartment. And Walter Matthau says to her, I don't think he's going to jump. He doesn't strike me as that kind.
Yeah, and he goes, Marsha, come back.
She gets in the cab, drives away, and the movie ends as he's yelling at her.
That was a great ending.
I really enjoyed this movie. I liked it the first time I saw it earlier this year, but I enjoyed it even more this time.
There's a lot of funny things in this movie, too.
And I was telling you that in a lot of ways, it reminds me of Network.
Yes.
Yeah.
It does.
And I think they would make a great double feature. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it would. And we watched, I think there were more funny things in Network.
Yes.
And I also like the scene with Max's wife.
Yeah, I do too.
But that one, I mean, they were equally good movies. I would give that one an 8.
I think Network's almost a 9, and
wow.
I would put A Face on the Crowd as an 8.5 to a 9.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's so weird because I was telling you that I didn't know anything about Andy Griffith until the Andy Griffith Show. Mm-hmm. And I only watched, I didn't watch the whole series, but I watched parts of it, and I really liked it. And I thought, wow, and Andy Griffith in this movie, it's like he's out of his element. He's like drunk with power. He is, he's a womanizer. He's drunk with power. He's very manipulative. He goes back to Marsha, who's like his safety girl. Yeah. Stuff that you wouldn't imagine Andy Griffith to be. But it was really good.
What does this movie teach us about media manipulation?
I think if you are the who's who of media, you can manipulate it to do whatever you want it to do.
Well, and we've seen that before. We've seen media manipulate us into going into wars, and that's obviously an extreme example. We've seen media manipulate us into following whatever TV or film star they want us to.
Well, what about like the Vitajex commercials, as funny as they were, right? Because they were pretty funny. How they use sex to sell that stuff, or they use humor to sell it. Mm-hmm. And it looks even more attractive.
I think this movie for the 50s is incredibly ballsy. And I know that there was a division in Hollywood between TV and film at that time. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of movie stars thought that TV was very low rent, mm-hmm. so to speak. So in some ways that makes it easier, but in some ways this film feels more like a movie from the 70s than it does a film from the 60s, from the 50s.
I think they were taking a lot of risks with this movie. Mm-hmm. Because you wouldn't see, the way that Marcia and Larry, aka Lonesome Rhodes, were acting towards each other. You wouldn't see that a lot in the 50s.
No.
You would see it in the 70s.
What does this film teach us about the reality of celebrity?
Well, if you let fame get to you, your head could really puff up to the size of, I don't know, whatever it balloons up to. And then you're no longer recognizable.
There's that, and there's also the audience is led to believe that Lonesome Rhodes may have done some things, but it's just a fun-loving guy.
Right.
They don't know that he kind of looks down on his audience.
Yes.
And has this very questionable past.
Exactly. Yeah, and I forgot who said, like, he, his influence is a very bad one. He knows what he's doing.
I think that was Walter Matthau, actually.
Yeah, I think that's what he said that, yeah. So he knew what he was doing, I think. But he also let fame get to his head.
Does watching this movie make you question the, I guess propaganda might be a strong word, but the stories that we're fed about our current celebrities?
In some ways it does, and in some ways it doesn't. Because I think there are celebrities that are painted as bad people when they're not. But I also think there are celebrities that are painted as good people, and we find out, of course, with like, shall I mention, Bing Crosby, right?
Yeah. I mean, I was thinking of somebody a little bit more recent, but go ahead.
Oh, that's the one I thought about
go ahead.
Now.
Yeah.
How we thought Bing Crosby was also this wholesome person, but we also found out that he beat his kids and wasn't exactly the best example of a father. I don't know. You know what I mean?
I hear you.
Yeah.
What does Walter Matthau teach us about working in the system and challenging it at the same time?
Like the way he handled Lonesome Rhodes.
Yeah, because at first he's a writer for him, and then he decides he's going to write an expose about Lonesome.
He used it to his advantage, I think. Instead of being manipulated, he went ahead and exposed the manipulator.
Do you think that Walter Matthau is the most moral character in this movie?
He's the most sane.
Okay.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Maybe he is the most moral character, but so is Marcia when she exposed him.
No, but she took a long time to turn on him.
Okay, she took a long time, but she came to her senses.
But a lot of that too, for real, was because she was angry at all the stuff he had put her through.
True. She was a woman scored. Okay, so I guess in some ways Walter Matthau was a voice of reason, and he may have been the most moral character in this situation.
I haven't seen every movie that he's been in, but this isn't just my favorite movie that has Walter Matthau in it. I think it's his best performance that I've seen. Like, he really shows his strength as an actor in this film.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. And I don't know much about it. I don't know a lot of his stuff. But yeah.
I mean, when most people of our generation talk about him, they'll say, oh, grumpy old men.
Yeah.
Maybe The Odd Couple, but they don't talk about Charade or a face in the crowd.
Yeah.
Yes.
Charade, another good movie.
Yeah, this is much better, though.
I think you're right.
Yes.
It really makes you think about power and how to use power and influence.
Do you think this movie will shape the way you watch the news?
Yes. But the way I thought about the news, the way I have been thinking about the news up until watching this movie was changing anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You know, what is real, what isn't real, what is truth, what isn't truth. What is propaganda, what is not propaganda. Choices or you know, having choice as to what you believe versus what you are fed. You know, it's been changing even before I watched this film.
And it will continue to grow and evolve. Mm-hmm. Your view of the news and how this country covers it.
Right.
Yes.
And the journalist's responsibility as well.
Right. Because I would say that the responsibility of the journalist is to be as impartial as possible when reporting on situations.
Oh, absolutely.
But
absolutely.
How often is that really the case?
It hasn't been for a long time. But anyway, we don't need to get into that.
Yeah, maybe with a person here or there, it's true. But for the most part, when you look at American media, we don't see that. Mm. We see these very slanted views on politicians, on the economy, just on everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, yes, I mean, my view of the news has been shifting even before it, but now, it really makes you think of that stuff even more.
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you think happens to Lonesome Rhodes?
I don't think he ever goes back into show business.
Oh, that's interesting. I think Walter Matthau is pretty much spot on.
Really?
Yes.
You think he gets a show, but it's not the same?
I absolutely do.
Huh.
I wonder, too, how much of this movie was based on Arthur Godfrey. So they actually mention him in the movie.
Arthur Godfrey?
Yeah, you know who he was, right?
I heard of him.
He was an early television personality who I think he hosted a daytime show. Mm-hmm. And from what I understand, I wasn't there. He was very popular in the late 40s and early 50s. Uh-huh. The thing that I've always heard turned people against him was there was a singer on his show named Julius, and I forget the man's last name, but he was a young guy who was super popular with ladies. And one day during his radio show, Arthur Godfrey comes on and says, we're letting Julius is leaving us for bigger and better things. And it turns out that Godfrey, at least what the rumor said, has had him fired.
Wow.
And that came out in the press.
Wow.
And kind of started to sink his career.
Wow. Huh.
I don't know for sure, but something tells me that this movie was at least partially influenced by that story.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. Very good.
Yes.
Nice.
Is there anything else you want to say about this movie?
I think it's worth watching. I really do.
So you would recommend it to family members?
Yes, I would. It's a good movie.
It's really good.
It's very good.
Do you have any questions about it for me?
You said that you saw an interview with Andy Griffith about this movie. Did he say anything else about it besides that it was a good movie?
So, what you're referring to is in the late 90s, I was home, it was Saturday, I was flipping through the channels, and Larry King was doing an hour-long interview with Andy Griffith. They were talking about life and his career, and they mentioned this movie. And, you know, Larry King will fawn over anything if his guest is there, which I don't really like.
Yeah.
Because it sort of shows his bias as an interviewer. Uh-huh. But I didn't really know those tricks at the time. And he starts talking about, you were in the face in the crowd. It was such a great movie.
Right.
And it was only like a 2-minute discussion, but it put the seed in my mind that there was this film out there.
And he said he enjoyed making it.
It seemed like that from the interview, but it wasn't really about the film as much as it was about Andy Griffith's life and career.
Right.
The obviously the whitewashed version of it.
Okay.
You know.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I didn't watch the film until earlier this year, even though I've had a copy of it since probably 2012.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
But it's super powerful.
Yes. It is.
What would your elevator pitch be for this movie to your family?
I would just say that if you want to see Andy Griffith outside of his element, because I don't know how much my relatives or my friends knew about Andy Griffith before this movie, but this is worth seeing if you want to see him outside of his element. Mm-hmm. Because he's really good.
Yeah.
He's really, really good in this movie.
He is.
I was very impressed. And he sang well. I mean, I wish his guitar was a little bit more tuned, but maybe that's the reason why. Maybe there was a reason why they had it out of tune a little bit.
Something I do wonder about this movie is Elia Kazan and Marlon Brando were very, very close.
Yeah.
Until the whole thing with Elia Kazan naming names, right?
Uh-huh.
And then they had a falling out.
Mm-hmm.
If they remained friends, would Marlon Brando have played the Lonesome Rhodes part in this movie? And if so, how would Marlon Brando's performance shape the film and how we view the film today? Mm. Because people don't really talk about this movie as much as they should. I feel if Marlon Brando was in it, they would discuss it. But part of me also thinks, I don't know if it would have been as good.
Yeah.
Because
I know.
A Streetcar Named Desire ends with Marlon Brando yelling to some woman.
Yes. And
this movie ends with Andy Griffith yelling to some woman.
Yeah, instead of Marcia, it's Stella. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I honestly think Marlon Brando was better as Stanley. And I think that Andy Griffith was better as Lonesome Rhodes.
He's incredible in this movie.
He's really good. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm very impressed.
In some ways, babes, it makes me wonder what we missed out on because Andy Griffith was never really, to the best of my knowledge, given material like this again.
I don't know. I can't answer that. Mm. I don't know how to answer that.
That's fair.
But go see the movie. It's really, really good. You will not regret it.
I don't think so. I think it's strong 8, maybe weak 9 for me.
Yes.
And
strong
you would give
8
it
for me.
Strong 8.
Yes.
That's really good
for me.
Yes. You sound like you're getting a little bit antsy there.
No, I was itchy.
Oh.
It's okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Babes.
Yes.
I forgot to mention when we were talking about books.
Yeah.
Because we've watched a couple of Clint Eastwood movies recently, I decided to download a book on him. Mm-hmm. I think it's called Clint Eastwood, American Rebel.
Yes.
I was very excited to read it or listen to it. And this morning I started to. I quickly stopped because the author put like a footnote every 35 seconds, it felt like.
Ah, I know. And I said, I think footnotes should only be there if it's like a historical account or if there needs to be a footnote, but it needs to be there sparingly, like you said.
Yes.
And just like reader's notes in books, right? Reader's notes should only be there unless they're needed. Mm-hmm. And I like reader's notes because it clarifies things, but they should only be there if needed.
That's right, Jaylo.
Yes. That's how I see it.
It is going to be a while before we see each other again.
Well, we will see each other, but sparingly, I guess, for the next couple of weeks.
You might be hanging out with G-rated Rick.
Oh my.
And I'm not a big fan of G-rated Rick.
I don't mind it. But
as you can tell, I've watched a lot of Rick and Morty.
Yes.
From the way I refer to myself in the third person.
Yes.
Because your mom, who is a Christian, will be in town.
Wow, you say it like it's such a horrible thing.
No, but she talks about Jesus a lot.
I'll just say this. I think she means well, but sometimes it can get very embarrassing for me because I end up being the referee for it.
Yes.
And it's just like, stop it already, stop.
That's actually not where I wanted to go, though.
I know.
What self-love exercises, if any, do you plan to practice over the next couple weeks?
I don't do the self-love thing, so I don't know how like I said, I don't know why you keep asking me that, but, I really wanted to write this week, and I was going to write on Thursday, but of course the whole laundry room thing was happening, and it was really annoying. So I hope that I'll be able to find some time to finish my chapter, because I really want to get that to you.
In the book that we're writing?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I need to do that.
Yeah.
I hope I have some time.
I do too, babes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then, of course, there's, upcoming appointments and another one I need to make, and I'm not excited about that, but I do want to make sure that everything is functioning well. So,
yes.
Yeah.
Well, good.
Yes.
Have you had any dreams recently?
No, not since the one I had the other day.
Nice, babes.
And you said you didn't either.
No.
Okay.
Jaylo.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to discuss?
I don't think so. I don't exactly know when she's coming in, so I've got to find that out too. And I've got some things to do, like, cleaning and stuff, which is not something I'm looking forward to, but I have to do it. Anything you want to talk about?
I'm sure as soon as we stop doing this, I'll think of like 50 things.
That you didn't mention?
Well, I'll tell you this. As you know, I've been working out on Clubhouse recently.
Very good.
And it's with people I know in real life.
Mm-hmm.
The guys suggested that maybe you could come and work out with us tomorrow.
Yes, I know. Yeah.
And from your response, I'm getting the sense that that's not going to happen.
Not yet. If I didn't have to do other stuff, because I really want to get this place ready. Because I'm going to be doing a lot of accommodating while I'm here.
Oh.
While they're here.
Okay.
So while she's here, yeah, she's here.
Okay.
While she is here, so I just don't know if I'll have a lot of time to do that.
Yes.
Even if it is for half hour, and
I
need to get back on my trampoline again. I haven't been doing that lately.
Right. And I would suggest that you tell your mom that my family invited you to Christmas dinner.
And I said I think we should wait on that.
Oh.
Because I don't even know what's going on.
I think you're going to spend a holiday with me.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
We will see. I do not know. It's only, close to late August.
That's true. I might be dead by then.
Oh. Stop saying that.
Oh. Or alive.
You're trying to scale me.
Sorry there, Jaylo. Yes.
But that is another conversation for another time.
That's true.
That is right.
All right, babes, unless there's anything else you want to discuss, I think we're good.
I think we're good too.
All right.
Have a good day, everybody.
I need a kiss.
Oh, okay. Before that.
Oh, you.
Okay. Okay, you gotta stop that, please.
Sorry, babes, I didn't know.
That's really distracting.
Sorry, babes.
Okay.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. That is our longest one yet.